Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. He has spoken with Israel's prime minister and senior Hezbollah officials in Lebanon, and President Trump says both sides have agreed to dial back the fighting that threatens U.S.-Iran peace talks. Hezbollah in Lebanon has often fired rockets into northern Israel. It's making life for residents there almost unbearable.
A normal person cannot stand the crazy situation we have here. So only with drugs a person can continue on functioning here.
Russia attacked Ukraine with a barrage of missiles and drones overnight, killing at least 11 people, injuring dozens, trapping many others, that according to Ukrainian officials. The state of Florida is suing OpenAI, alleging it disregarded, even covered up serious risks to young people posed by ChatGPT. The BBC's Lily Jamali is in San Francisco.
OpenAI disputes those allegations. In a statement, they said that they are an industry leader when it comes to protections and policies. They pointed us to some tools that they've developed to keep kids safe, as well as some features that enable parents to monitor their kids' use of ChatGPT. But there's long been accusations against big tech companies, including now OpenAI, that they are trying to take the onus of responsibility off of themselves and place it onto parents and families when things go wrong.
The Los Angeles mayor's race and the California governor's contest among the most closely watched of today's primaries in half a dozen states. Secretary of State Rubio returns to Capitol Hill today, the first of 2 days of hearings. State Department's annual budget request is the issue, although Rubio is expected to be questioned about a whole host of issues. On Wall Street, Dow futures are down 197 points. NASDAQ futures 11 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
When I was feeling the stress of too much credit card debt, I looked at two different options: debt settlement and debt management. They may sound the same, but guess what? They're not. Debt settlement seemed like a quick fix, but I found out it would destroy my credit, create tax headaches, and hit me with huge fees. They actually told me to stop paying my bills. No way, not me. Then I turned to a debt management plan developed by the team at Trinity. They worked with my creditors, lowered my payments, reduced my interest, saved me thousands, and paid off my debt. And Trinity is a Christian company, which is important to me.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-990-6976.
Rescuers in Laos have employed high-tech as they try to reach a couple of villagers thought to be trapped in a flooded cave, their precise whereabouts unknown.
The Laos Rescue Volunteer for People group has posted on its Facebook page that heavy rain caused massive amounts of water to flow down into the cave area, forcing them to suspend operations. Now, Ken Kaj Kawan, head of the Thai group Meta Tam Rescue Kalasin, says the team and I have used a radar scanner and satellite images and many other things as a basis for our navigation of the mountain to look for the cave's air shafts that are vertical ventilation that may provide access to where they are trapped. Rescuers believe the two missing people are trapped deeper inside the cave than the location where the 5 survivors were originally found on Wednesday. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
NVIDIA has unveiled powerful new chips to bring advanced artificial intelligence to Windows laptops and desktops. News and analysis at townhall.com. So why did the pigeon cross the road? Well, because his amazing internal GPS told him to.
A new study finds some birds orient themselves using both the sun and the Earth's magnetic field as a compass, but it's still not clear exactly how they do this. Scientists searched for magnetic clues in pigeons' organs and found a strong signal in a very unexpected place: immune cells in the liver. More work, though, is needed to verify the pigeons navigate this way and to firm up just how those signals do get to the brain. Jason Walker reporting.
The Department of War has declared its press office a classified space, off limits to journalists. Last October, many reporters turned in their access badges over newly imposed restrictions on their movement within the Pentagon. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, My Pillow mattresses and My Pillow mattress toppers as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla.
Trouble getting to sleep and staying asleep is infuriating. Your mind races, you toss and turn. Nutrition company Healthy Cell created REM sleep to help you quickly fall asleep, stay asleep, and sleep deep. Unlike other supplements that don't work, REM sleep is not a pill. It's a gel you swallow with ultra-absorption of science-backed ingredients supporting all 4 stages of sleep. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order. Risk-free. Love it or your money back. Guaranteed. Healthycell.com. Code Godzilla.
Folks, this is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Sol Tea. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many, many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Sol Tea for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Sol Tea. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are a $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.90.
off in the statewide election against another girl. A longtime NFL sideline reporter for U.S. Senate, realizing she's a political outsider, decided to try anyway for a convention endorsement in a show of goodwill towards the party faithful. The candidate regarded as likely to win the convention vote, however, is a butt-kicking Navy SEAL who's been canvassing the state for a year. Guns, guts, God, pickup trucks, and solid conservative ideals and talking points, but no assets, money, no name recognition, national political commitments, or connections. While her net worth is in the tens of millions, and her national political support promises tens of millions more if she's on the ballot. From the convention floor.
If I am at the top of the ticket, folks, we will have resources to share.
To which the delegates collectively responded,
Oh, no.
as they then cast their next vote, putting the fella over the top for the win. Thinking outside the box, what they really meant was...
Just go! Just go!
It is Minnesota, after all. Here outside the box with the Ox in the Eastern Time Zone and now in West Virginia on the John Fredericks Media Network.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.
Into center field. It gets down. Around third is Kresser. Cue Country Roads. West Virginia wins it in 10.
Live from the NCAA baseball tournament in Morgantown, West Virginia, this is a special edition of the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who tells his players to just keep swinging, John Fredericks.
Hey, great to have you with us. I'm John Fredericks, your Godzilla of the Truth in America, your Oracle of the Deplorables, coming to you live again from Morgantown, West Virginia. Well, Morgantown, the West Virginia Mountaineers, we've been covering this all week. Go to WVSportsNation.com, download their app. They are going to the Super Regionals right here in Morgantown. So that's we're going to be back again next week. Let's roll. So then they're going to win those two games. They really lucked out. They're playing Cal Polytech, which is really not that good. They were a third seed in the Mountain West, somehow got in, somehow won that tournament, knocked out UCLA, and the Mountaineers will beat them in 2 games, and they're going to Omaha. So that's kind of the way it is. We're doing great, so it's good. Great to have you with us. Lots of primaries coming up today. Lots of interesting things. We've got primaries in California, governor, statewide races. We got Iowa, key gubernatorial and congressional primaries. We've got so many interesting things. New Jersey congressional primaries, California's race, the battle for the 2 top spots in the jungle primary. That's all today. We've got the mayor's races there. That's today. So a lot going on. Plus your calls, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646, 888-480-5646. We're going to get to the phone lines here in a minute, but we got a lot going on today. But look, we just want to hear from you and hear what's going on. We're going to get right to, before we get to any of our callers, we're going to get right to cut one here. This is one of the biggest races that all of a sudden got on everybody's radar screen. Now, I don't think he's going to win, but his videos have been phenomenal. This is Spencer Pratt, whose election is today. He said, what sets me apart in Los Angeles mayoral race is that I don't have my opponent's experience of failing. Everything they say is just more lies. And kind of ties into my race here in D.C. This can be done. You can go to an inner city. You can change the way people are looking at it. You can do this. It's not easy. Nobody said anything is easy. Wasn't easy last night for the Mountaineers having to come back and win that game. Nothing is easy, but you got to make it work. You got to try. And that's why I'm running for DC GOP Ward 2 chairman. I know I said this 100 times. You probably got a lot of other things on your plate, but we got a big victory party coming up on June 16th. That is going to be at the iconic City Tavern. It's going to be so much fun. Corey Lewandowski, Morgan Griffith is going to be there. That's going to be fun. Brandon Beach, free food, open bar, tickets $50. And even if you can't go, send us $50. We'll give you a ticket to a Young Republican. They love to go. Obviously, we got a cost associated with it, open bar and free food. But we'd love to have you there. We're expecting about 200 people. We're going to rock the place. This can be done. This can be done. That's why we're doing it. Go to makedccgreat.com. Don't tell me what you can't do. Tell me what you can do. I don't want to hear what you can't do. There's a lot of can'ts out there. You play to win the game, like Coach Herman said. You play to win, and we're here to win. I want to know what you can do. We got to change things, and we got to bring the message right to the people like Spencer Pratt is doing. He's certainly an inspiration to me. You know, I almost ran for mayor here, decided there was too much going on with the midterms, but I came very, very close. And this was really the vision I had. And President Trump's doing a super job here. I mean, getting the reflecting pool at the National Mall painted blue, that's going to be gorgeous. You know, get a picture of that a little bit later on coming up, Dan. But the city has been just so, DC has been revitalized. I'm excited about going home today after this show. Back to DC, even though it's tough to leave West Virginia, so much fun here, but it's all good. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. You want to weigh in, but let's first get to Spencer Pratt running for mayor, Los Angeles. Roll it.
On this final day of campaigning in the L.A. mayor's race, recent polls show a tight race between L.A. Mayor Karen Bass, Councilmember Nithya Raman, and community activist Spencer Pratt. I spent time with all three today. Mayor Karen Bass was in the San Pedro neighborhood, shaking hands at a local coffee shop. She also spent time phone banking with supporters at her campaign headquarters. Nithya Raman toured a mercado in Boyle Heights. She's challenging Bass from the left, saying she hasn't been competent in making change happen fast enough. Spencer Pratt was in a restaurant in the Encino neighborhood, shaking hands with supporters there. After losing his house in the Palisades fire, he decided to enter the race. I asked all three candidates for their closing argument to voters.
My final message to voters is, in the last few years, we brought down homelessness for the first time, 2 years in a row. 42,000 units of housing, crime rates down to 60 years low. We have the Olympics and the World Cup coming. Los Angeles is ready for an incredible recovery.
Well, Angelenos are feeling that this city is moving in the wrong direction. What I'm offering is urgency to tackle the issues that are at the forefront of people's minds and a real plan to address our cost of living crisis and our homelessness crisis.
My opponents are the reason the city's failing. So anything they say is just more lies. They know with me we're changing what's going on. We're stopping it. So it's not like a closing argument. They're already excited about me. The reason I'm here is because I'm not like these people. I don't have the experience of failing like they have.
Oh my God. This is going to be too funny. If Spencer Pratt were to win this thing or even come close, this is an inspiration to everybody. You can change in inner city. President Trump has shown you this. You can do it with leadership if you have the energy and the gumption. Look, you need two things. Just two. You need balls and a plan. That's it, right? That's one of my favorite sayings. You need balls and a plan. Actually, it's my wife's favorite saying. You need balls and a plan. If you have balls without a plan, you get yourself annihilated, right? If you have a plan and no balls, you never do anything. You just talk and send out white papers. You need balls and a plan. That's what Pratt's got. That's what we have here in D.C. That's what I've got. Got to have balls and a plan. And we can do this. And I can't wait to see his vote total there. This guy's got a shot to win. No doubt about it. L.A. is a failing joke. It's filthy. It's disgusting. Everybody knows it. Taxes are through the roof. They can't get anything done. She's saying homelessness is down. On what planet do you live on? Right? Joke. Okay, let's get to the phone lines because we're fired up today. Let's get to Rob in New York. Rob, you're live.
Good morning, John.
Hey, Rob.
What a day. I mean, you got, hold on, let me get you off my Bluetooth. You have this Pratt guy, which is, I think it's a lesson that all Republicans should pay attention to, because you don't need these overpaid consultants that just are interested in their commission from TV ads. Pratt's not using TV. He's going straight to social media and using AI for pennies on the dollar. And look at the movement he's built. He may not win, but he showed exactly what you said. Plattner, that guy, it looks like the View turned on him. Watch them pull a Harris, and they get Mills to get back in. I wouldn't put it past them.
Could be.
And then the third thing I want to say is with Iran. I don't know what the heck we're doing right now, because when you start losing people thinking that Iran is running circles around our administration, I don't buy that argument. They don't have any power. I think this is really their last-ditch attempt. But I don't know what we're going to get out of it. The president resigned. Now you're going to negotiate with the IRGC. Those guys are.
You just need to bomb them. You need to bomb them into the Stone Age. Stop talking, start bombing. That's it. Stop talking. There's no negotiation. Yeah. Whatever it is that they say or sign, they lie. So now you're negotiating with people that want to die. Give them their wish. Kill them. They want to die.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think. But we got to move past it. And by the way, I was looking something. You've been talking about the fuel. If you look at like the energy curve, or the oil curve, which is where you see like the trend is going down. So I think these oil traders, maybe in the short term, they're bidding it up to get some money now, but it really looks like things are going to fall. So one way or another, there's going to be some sort of resolution, and we're not going to have, gasoline prices in the 4 handle in New York. And you're already starting to see it. Parts of New York, I looked at Gas Buddy, it's below 4. And where you are right now in West Virginia, you're also below 4. So
359.
Yeah, which is 90 cents less than it is by me.
359.
So it's going to
move.
Drop.
Yes.
So we got to stop this panic in behavior. I don't know how else we can do it. I mean, you can talk about it every day, but I like your thing right there. You need balls and a plan, and that's what we're lacking. And this is not the time to go soft. I'm sorry. Not you. I'm talking about
the fake news. The fake news is going to continue to tell you your life is miserable. Under Biden, your life was miserable, and they said it was transitory and everything was fine. Gas was $5.02. Everything is fine. It's transitory. Everything is good, right? Inflation, 12%. Hey, it's all good. It's transitory. Now all of a sudden, gas is $3.59 in West Virginia, and I live the life of a miserable, unhappy wretch. That's what they're telling me. Right? It's nonsense. The whole thing is just a facade, and we can break through. That's why I'm so fired up every day. Everybody says to me, why are you so optimistic? We're going to lose a Democrat. We're going to lose. No, we're not going to lose. If you keep saying you got to have a mindset. I mean, my mindset is, look, we're winning. We're going to get these seats. We just got one in Louisiana. Yeah, I was pissed off in South Carolina. But we got enough seats where we can compete now, and they're not going to win these seats. Look at the candidates they're running. They're all bat crap crazy. When you got a guy like Pratt in Los Angeles, who even if he doesn't win, is going to get a share of that vote, right? Going to get a share. I mean, you got to look at these cities. We can do this. We just got to come together and stop panicking and quibbling and who's Rhino and who's MAGA and who's Ultra MAGA. This is nonsense. We got an election to win. We got to win. We can keep the House. We can keep the Senate. And we give President Trump 2 more years and we can get rid of Thune, right? We get things done. This is where we need to be headed. And the economy is going to be booming over this summer. And you look at this 250-year thing. You had somebody on MS Now the other day saying, well, this is one of the, what do you call it, right? Anchors. I don't really feel like celebrating 250. I don't really feel like, because, we've never really come to grips with our racist past. And, we're not really a good people. We're not really a good country. And I don't really feel like celebrating. This is the other side.
I saw that, and that guy's Canadian, I think.
Yeah.
And you should go look up north to see what you've done with your open borders policies in Canada, and go see what they did. When I think of Canada, I'm thinking about what they did with that pastor that they tried to arrest him during COVID,
right,
and what they tried to debank the truckers.
Right.
And I see the attacks on synagogues, and
right,
and that thing is they want to bring up like Sharia law up there, and you're worried about the United States. Go look at your old home, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to go overseas. Just drive across the border and see how awful Canada is.
I tell you what, we look, voters are not stupid. The polls are fake. The narratives are fake. Everything is fake. It's like you're living in, remember when you used to play that game with your children when they were small? What was it? Opposite Land? I mean, we're in the Cartoon Network. This is like Who Killed Roger Rabbit, and you go across into the Toon World. I mean, these people are ridiculous. It's all lies. It's all smoke and mirrors. There's fake polls, fake narratives, fake news. Everything is fake. And it's going to come crashing down with them in November. We are going to win. Rob, thank you. Appreciate you. Sean, hang in there a minute. I tell you what, we're still in Morgantown today, coming to you live in Morgantown, West Virginia, home of the Super Regional hosting West Virginia Mountaineers. Let's go. We're going to be back here again next weekend. Not going to miss that for anything in the world. Now, listen, we're in good shape here. And where are we? We're parked right outside the stadium, thanks to our good friends at Star Furniture, West Virginia. Now, Star Furniture and Mattress, well, they've been serving West Virginia families since 1907. The Morgantown showroom is located directly across from the baseball stadium where we are now. Now, this is one of the landmarks of the city, and Star Furniture, where they're locally owned and operated, they're proudly serve Morgantown, Fairmont, Clarksburg, Elkins, and all the surrounding communities. Now, the company believes in supporting local schools, community organizations, and charitable causes throughout West Virginia. These are really good people. They're the salt of the earth. They're the fabric of our community. And they've been a fixture in this community for well over a century, Star Furniture, right? Helping people all the time. They're extending their Memorial Day sale through today because the Mountaineers won. So come out and check them out today. They're going to do it through this weekend. They got a great sale on Tempur-Pedic if you're looking for a new mattress. More information, and we're right here, right across from the stadium on University Boulevard. Can't miss it. Right here. Let's go. It's fun. Now, just go to starfurniturewv.com, starfurniturewv.com, and you're good to go. starfurniturewv.com. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network, Trucking the Truth across America. We're going to be right back. We got Sean coming up. We got other callers, 888-480-JOHN. Your voice, your community, your show.
In there's going to be some things that aren't completely accurate. There's going to be some Fauci-isms along the way.
That coffee okay? Might be.
Hey folks, Al Green here for Sat Phone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need Sat Phone. Sat phones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your Sat phone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are a $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
This meeting with China and President Trump, the stakes couldn't be higher.
Listen, China's not our friend. They've been stealing our technology. They've been stealing the AI, responsible for the COVID. We have to be very, very careful about giving stuff to China.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
It's the top news of the day.
China wants the oil from Iran.
They want to make a deal that's good for them and not piss us off too much.
What if those who were once called conspiracy theorists turn out to be right again? A new study by Korean doctors claimed that COVID vaccines raise the risk of 6 cancers, including lung, breast, and prostate. Researchers analyzed health records from more than 8.4 million adults between 2021 and 2023, and their findings were published in Biomarker Research, a respected scientific journal. Critics dismiss it, but the data raises concern that spike protein exposure may be tied to long-term health risks. And Dr. Peter McCullough has been aware of this since 2020, which is why he collaborated with the wellness company to create Ultimate Spike Detox, designed to help your body clear spike proteins, reduce inflammation, and support heart health. With natural ingredients like nattokinase, dandelion root, and bromelain, it is your daily proactive defense from a man-made virus. Don't wait until symptoms strike or something unexpected happens. Experience the only formula approved and used by Dr. McCullough, one of the top doctors who risked it all. Go to twc.health/Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla and use promo code Godzilla to get 10% off plus free shipping.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Solti almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Solti, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. It is more about them than it is about the team. I cannot play with them, cannot win with them, cannot coach with them, can't do it.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Well, it's great to be with you. I'm John Fredericks. Truth and clarity right here. Coming to you live in Morgantown, West Virginia, God's country. Morgantown, West Virginia, the Mountaineer baseball team at home. Super Regionals next weekend, Friday, Saturday. There'll never be a game on Sunday. Cal Poly's not going to come here and win a game. And then they're going to Omaha, and you can follow it all on WVSportsNation.com, the #1 news and information site on all WV athletics, WVSportsNation.com. Don't forget, download their cool app, and you are good to go as we rock and roll right here. Primary day, a bunch of states, Iowa, California. Those are the 2 big ones. We're going to see what's going on. But we want to hear from you. Want to get your calls? Let's go to Sean in Newport News. Sean, you're live on the John Fredericks Media Network.
Good morning, John. I think I've been calling in for about 10 years now. One of the things I absolutely love about your show is listening to stories about Ann. And I'm sorry, JoJo. That's how I grew up with him. And I wanted to call in. I wanted to call in and brag on my son for a minute. You're gonna love this story.
Yes, sir.
So, my 18-year-old just got a job with the Newport News the shipyard. For
Wow.
those who are listening and not, yeah. For
That's
those who are
big.
not
That's
familiar,
big time.
John, yes. So this is the only place in the country that builds aircraft carriers and that can do the refueling. So
Right.
even if you have a carrier out in Japan, you need to refuel it. She comes here to Newport News.
That's right.
So now he's working on carriers as a rigger. That's a dangerous job. It's like a boatswain mate. I'm not going to go and explain everything. But, John, he's 18 years old, making $28.50 an hour starting. $28.50. And then if he works Saturday, he took a Saturday shift, he's getting time and a half. And if he works Sundays, he gets double time. 18 years old, John.
It's a
All right,
beautiful
so let me
thing.
tell you about the first day he meets his foreman. So he goes into, it's either an office or a trailer, I don't know. Doesn't matter. He goes into the trailer, and it's him and some other new guy, another young kid. Walks in the office, and, bunch of grown men, and he sees his red MAGA hat, like, hidden in the corner. He goes, whose MAGA hat is that? And they're all quiet. He goes, that's a beautiful hat. And all of a sudden, all the MAGA hats come out, and Trump posters come out, and Trump this and Trump that. He's like, Dad, they all love me. I'm like, you're here with your people now, bud. I don't have to tell you. He's got his steel toes. I'm helping him with his hard hat, getting adjusted because I've spent some time in the yards myself. So it's just a proud moment that I wanted to share with your audience. I thought it was a cool story about all the Trump supporters and stop hiding, Trump supporters, stop hiding.
It's a beautiful story. What's your son's first name?
Colin.
Colin. I remember you came to our apartment. It was a long time ago, and he was 8 because we know him for 10 years. And you bought. We had no money back then, and neither did you. And you wanted to buy. Both of us were broke. You wanted to buy him a PlayStation or something. And we were getting Joe another one, an upgraded one, a new one from Providence Computers that was that Mike cut me a deal on, Mike Carslike. And so we sold you ours for like $200. And he was 8 years old. And you were so excited to have him. And you came and you picked it up and gave me a check for $200, which, was back then for us was, a lot of money. And we were so excited. But this is how you build relationships. And we've known each other for 10 years, and now here's your son, Colin, in the shipyard with a great career ahead of him. Hopefully we'll be able to join the union there soon, which is probably one of the best unions in the country. They're great to their people. And so I'm very proud of Colin. You should be very proud of him as well. He's got a great future with a great company.
Yeah, it's not easy to get a job there. You got to go through a background check. You got to get a clearance. They drug test you, and they test your hair. So right, so like you can't, I've done drugs like 6 months ago. It's not an easy job to get, but like if you get in, man, and he's getting ready to join the union too.
Yeah,
they
you got to
want him
join the
in.
union there.
It's amazing.
Once you join the union there, it is, and we have right to work. So you join it by voluntarily. And that's why they have nearly 100% union voluntary membership at Newport News Shipbuilding, because it's a great union that takes care of their people, and people join it voluntarily and they don't mind paying in because of what they get out of it. So that's why it's a great thing. And I'm so proud of your son. And thank you for sharing that story. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care, John.
All right, John Fredericks Media Network. Good to have you with us. I tell you what, a groundbreaking new study shows that there's there's a safe and inexpensive potential cancer treatment, and it's a drug that many of us already know a lot about, and that's ivermectin. This new study shows that individuals who took ivermectin, the parasite-fighting medication that gained fame during the COVID pandemic, along with the drug mebendazole, saw remarkable results in the battles with cancer. This is something else. Now, this incredibly promising results have many Americans wondering how they can obtain U.S.-made ivermectin and benzidol. And that's where the wellness company comes in. You see and hear from the wellness company doctors all the time on my show on this network, and you know that their products are the gold standard of keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The wellness company is making 100% made ivermectin and benzidol available to my audience at an incredibly affordable price point. Say no to Big Pharma's greed and no to Big Pharma's poisons, and say yes to a company that you can trust to bring you safe, affordable, and effective treatments. If you or someone you know is interested in trying ivermectin for cancer treatment, then go to twc.health/Godzilla today and order it. Get 10% off with promo code Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla and use the promo code Godzilla to save 10%, and you are good to go right there. Okay, got a lot of other stuff coming on here. I want to get to we talked about the primaries today going on. Iowa and Los Angeles are the big ones. Yesterday, President Trump, this is leaked, had a phone call with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel. We understand this call did not go very well. We understand from leaked reports that the president was very pissed at Netanyahu for this constant bombing of Lebanon, which has basically derailed now the peace negotiations with the IRGC that President Trump was getting close to getting. This has now become an issue. So apparently in this phone call, it did not go very well. President Trump has had enough of Israel, had enough of Netanyahu, just had enough of the whole thing. This came out yesterday, and the problem is that we're there, we're helping Israel. Obviously, Iran's their major enemy, but Trump has told them a number of times, we need a ceasefire with Lebanon. I need to get this peace deal done. Once I do that, you guys can do whatever the hell you want, but not right now. Netanyahu basically is doing what he wants, and that pissed Trump off. We're going to get to cut 6 here. This is Obama advisor, longtime advisor David Axelrod on Trump's call with Netanyahu, saying that it doesn't sound like it went very well. Cut 6, roll it.
People making the point about Israel. In this context, David, I want to ask you about what just happened now. Trump says that peace talks are continuing. Iran says they're over. You know what? At this point, who knows? But the strait is closed. Okay, and the economic pain is still coming.
Yes.
But now we've got a reporting coming tonight. This is from Barack Ravid and Mark Caputo. Trump said to Netanyahu apparently on a call today or over the weekend about what was going on to Netanyahu. He says, "What the F are you doing? You're effing crazy. You'd be in prison if it weren't for me. I'm saving your ass. Everybody hates you now. Everybody hates Israel because of this." Wow. Do you think? What do you read into that? If that's in quotes.
It doesn't sound like a very friendly call. Look, I think that the president, his analysis is not wrong. I think, Bibi Netanyahu has done tremendous damage, in my view, to Israel and to Israel's standing in the world. And this war, I think what Trump's really mad about, if you believe the reporting in the New York Times on this, and I do, Maggie Haberman's reporting, Jonathan Swan, Bibi had a lot to do with talking the president into thinking this was a good idea. And that's what he's really mad about.
Right.
What he's mad about is Bibi has created a huge political problem for him because the economy is the thing that is on the minds of Americans, and he has made it worse, and he promised to make it better. And that was his calling card. He was Mr. Economy, and now their costs are going up, and we're mired in this war.
And there's no way out. Can he successfully turn, though, and suddenly be, I'm the guy? I mean, I don't know who leaked this, but I would imagine Trump's fine with this being out there. If he talks like this and someone leaked it out there, he wants people to know.
Well,
so all of a sudden he's going to say, oh, this is how I feel about Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah, I imagine this happened because Israel is attacking Lebanon again now, and that's why Iran's upset and apparently not continuing with the talks, right? So I can understand why he would have this sentiment. But it's a deeper sentiment about anger because Trump can't get out of this war. And so to your concerns about the economy, which are totally accurate, what is he going to do to be able to win this war against Iran and therefore lower costs for the American person?
The time is moving along,
Yes.
and so even if they resolve this, and now it looks like it's going to take a while longer, as you know, Aaron, because you've covered this stuff for years, it takes a long time for the effects to pass through and resolve themselves. So it's not. It doesn't mean gas prices are going to go down. It doesn't mean grocery prices are going to go down. The president has created a huge problem for himself, and he overrode the concerns of some of his advisors who told him what Bibi Netanyahu is telling you. It's not true. It's not going to be easy to topple the regime. Certainly not without boots on the ground. Right. It's not going to. It's It's not. The Strait of Hormuz is a concern. He overrode those concerns. So it's very clear to me why he's angry at him, and he may be looking for someone to blame.
Well, you got to. The only one to blame is the IRGC. I mean, look, he's pissed at Netanyahu. We're going to get to this in a second. I don't blame him because he's derailed his peace talks. Netanyahu doesn't want peace talks. They want to get regime change, which they can't do without our boots on the ground. We never went into this war with regime change. We went into it so they didn't have the capacity to develop a nuclear warhead and the missile capability to launch it. That's why we're in this war. Not because of regime change. Regime change was never a stated objective. I don't care who runs Iran. I could give a rat's ass. I just don't want them to have a bomb, and neither does anybody else. So the talks are ridiculous. They go nowhere. The president resigned of Iraq. He has no power. He knows there's got to be negotiations. He's dealing with a faction that wants to die in a blaze of glory and go wherever they think they're going. That's why he resigned. Because that guy was trying to operate on the behalf of his people. Trump's got one option now. Empty the payloads. That's it. Empty the payloads and take over the strait like tomorrow. Just take it over. Sweep it, take it over. Take over those islands. Open the straits and get oil down. And who cares who runs around? I wouldn't give them a dime. And we're going to stop the blockade. We're going to give them their money. No, bomb them into the Stone Age. Like he said, open the straits, take the islands, and keep their money until they eventually collapse from within or don't. And if they're murdering their people, like, not our problem. People are getting murdered by regimes all over the earth. What do we do? Go into every single one of them? Look at what's going on in Africa in half these countries now. Look what's going on in China. We're going on there. They're rolling out the red carpet, and they got Uyghur slaves. They're killing thousands a day. We complaining about that? All right, let's get to Cut 7, former U.S. ambassador to Iraq, really blasting this whole thing with Israel. Cut 7, take a look.
Today on southern Lebanon in a sea of mixed messages over the war. Semi-official Iranian state media says Tehran suspended talks with the U.S. over such strikes. The president says Hezbollah leaders have agreed that all shooting will stop. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says the strikes will continue. Today, Axios is reporting that today's phone call between him and the president turned ugly, with President Trump asking Netanyahu, quote, "What the F are you doing?" and, quote, "Everybody hates you now. Everybody hates Israel because of this." Joining us now, Ryan Crocker, former ambassador to Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, Syria, Kuwait, and Lebanon, and also joining us, CNN military analyst, retired Air Force Colonel Cedric Layden. Ambassador Crocker, after all the back and forth today, where do you think negotiations stand, or do you think the U.S. is closer to an agreement or a new cycle of escalation?
We're clearly not anywhere close to any kind of comprehensive or detailed agreement. What's in play right now is whether the ceasefire continues or it doesn't. And it was an extraordinary phone call between President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu. I can't think of a single time in a long and checkered career when a president of the United States has spoken to an Israeli prime minister in that way. Wow. So we'll see
really?
what
You don't
it
think
does.
It's ever happened?
I cannot recall an incident, and I've been through a lot of Israeli conflicts in Lebanon and elsewhere.
What does that tell you?
Well, it tells me that President Trump has enormous influence over Netanyahu, one. Two, that he really, really, really wants this ceasefire to endure in Iran and recognizes that the Lebanese situation is key to that. And three, it demonstrates that to the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard leadership of Iran, that they have got tremendous influence over Trump.
Colonel Layden, Iran state affiliated media reported Iran and its proxies were considering activating other fronts, was the term that was used, including in another strait. This one is the Red Sea. What would that mean for U.S. and Israeli troops in the Gulf?
And that would really complicate things, Anderson, and it would really make things difficult not only for the U.S. troops that are in the Gulf, especially those on the Arabian Peninsula, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, places like that. It would also create problems for the Gulf states themselves. Saudi Arabia would have a real problem exporting its oil. It would be almost impossible to do it unless they were able to go through the Suez Canal, and that is a major factor here. As far as U.S. troops are concerned, it would really force them to divide their efforts between the Strait of Hormuz and the Bab el-Mandeb, which is that strait that goes from the Red Sea into the Indian Ocean.
And Ambassador, what do you think? I mean, how much power does President Trump have over Netanyahu?
Well, we're going to find out. I think the fact that he got the ceasefire in the first place indicates he has a considerable amount of influence. Netanyahu did not want to stop the fighting in Iran. He certainly didn't want to pause it in Lebanon. That has been unpopular with the Israeli public on both counts, and clearly with the Hezbollah drones and...
Listen, the bottom line is you can't negotiate with these people. They're liars. So all they do is lie. They have no fear of getting themselves killed. We're 4 layers deep, and we're still dorking around with a ceasefire, right? And they're still sending up drones. You got to open the strait. You got to do it now. I think the American people are done with this. They're done with the ceaseless negotiations that go nowhere, with the reports they're right there, and then they're not there, and they were never there. And whatever Iran apparently gave the president over the weekend, he went in the Situation Room. He didn't like the nuclear end of the deal. He didn't want to give him all this money that we've frozen. It's not our money, it's their money. We've froze it. Doesn't want to release that without stipulations. What is it going for? This thing is never going to get resolved in a diplomatic fashion because you're not negotiating with sane people. You're negotiating with crazy people that want to die. How do you possibly negotiate with that? It's like negotiating with a guy with a car bomb strapped on his chest, with a bomb strapped on his chest. There's no negotiation. He wants to die to blow you up. What are you going to negotiate? A banana? Carton of ice cream? There is no way to negotiate with these people. And so open up the strait and who cares what they do? As far as Israel is concerned, we're done here. We're done. We've got as far with these people as we can go. And there's no bigger supporter of Israel than I am. But look, we've been allies. Trump asked him to stop bombing Lebanon. He wouldn't do it. So that was an issue in these negotiations. And now we're done. And basically the president said, what the F are you doing, dude? We've had enough. This whole thing, look, you can't rely on anybody else but yourself. We have the greatest military armada assembled in the Gulf in the history of the globe ever is assembled right there. Bigger than anything that ever happened in World War II. It's all right there. So what are we doing with it? And they keep threatening them about, we're going to bomb you into the Stone Age. Then do it. They don't care. Either way, they're willing to die. So take the islands over. It's going to take some troops to do that. Get this strait open. Get those ships moving. And then you've solved it for life. And then Trump is going to win the midterms in a landslide if you've solved this for life. They have no bomb, the straits are open, and we can control it, so you never have to deal with this again. And as far as this idea they're going to go on opposite fronts, they don't have a Navy. How are they going to get there? I mean, this guy, Cedric, whatever his name is, retired general, getting paid by CNN, because all these guys get paid. Oh, well, they're going to open up another front. It's going to cause a problem in the Red Sea. You and what army? They have no army. They have no Navy. They have no ships. They have no submarines. They have no air defense. They have no air force. So exactly what front are they going to open? They have no troops. What exactly is it that they're going to open another front with? What army do they have? Zero. So this guy's a retired general getting paid by CNN. Well, if they do that, then they could clog up the Red Sea. With what? They don't have a navy. They got 8 rowboats and 2 speedboats. They don't have anything. It's just the insanity that goes on with the fake news. So now you're going to panic about, they're going to close another strait. No, they're not. With what? Who's going to do it? Hamas? They don't have any money either. This whole thing is so stupid. And we're done. I as far as I'm concerned, I don't really care what Israel does. I'm done with them. I don't care what the IRGC says. I want to open the straits and control them and make sure they don't have nukes, and that's it. And I don't think we're that far away from doing it. And the gas prices are coming down now because our oil and our energy development is off the charts. So it's already $3.59 here in Morgantown. $3.59, not $5.05. They're continuing to come down. And when these gas prices come down, war or not, what are the Democrats then going to complain about? What? Fertilizer? Give me a break. John Fredericks Media Network, Trucking the Truth Across America. Live, Morgantown. We're going to be right back. Stay with us. How you doing, bud? Good. You want to get...
WJFN W224EB 92.7 FM Chester, W299DB 107.7 Barnair, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJFB Portsmouth.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. This is primary day in a half dozen states, and that includes in California, where there's the governor's race and the closely watched L.A. mayor's contest. Other states with primaries today, Iowa and Montana, New Mexico, New Jersey, and South Dakota. 6 people killed, a mass shooting in Muscatine, Iowa.
The adult male suspect had left the residence prior to law enforcement's arrival, but was quickly identified as Ryan Willis McFarland, 52 years, Muscatine, Iowa. Officers located McFarland on the Riverfront Trail near the pedestrian bridge. While talking to Ryan Willis McFarland, he took his own life.
Muscatine Police Chief Anthony Key says it's believed all of the victims were related to McFarland. A horrific interstate crash, Northern Virginia, allegedly caused by a non-English speaking bus driver, naturalized U.S. citizen from China.
The bus driver accused of causing a chain reaction crash on Interstate 95 in Virginia on May 29th that killed 5 people has been charged with 5 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 1 count of reckless driving. Court records show Jing Shangdong of Staten Island, New York, paid a fine after being convicted of speeding in Virginia in 2024, going 73 miles per hour in a 55 zone. He was also cited in Annapolis, Maryland, driving a motor coach 72 miles per hour in a 50 zone. Authorities say Dong was driving the bus from New York to North Carolina when he struck a line of vehicles that slowed down in a work zone. A family of 4 from Greenfield, Massachusetts, on their way to a wedding were killed, as was a 25-year-old woman from Worcester. I'm Jennifer King.
President Trump suggests a U.S.-Iran deal could be just around the corner, perhaps in a week or so. The Dow futures down 196 points. NASDAQ futures off 26. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Kirk Cameron. Is health insurance eating up your budget for 2026? If you're looking for ways to better steward your finances, consider this: Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's a health insurance alternative at half the cost. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. While insurance companies tell you when to join, what to pay, and where to go, CHM is different. As a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of medical bills with other Christians. You can enroll, switch programs, or leave at any time. Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's a world of difference. CHM has 4 flexible programs. You can pick any certified doctor, surgeon, or hospital that you want for eligible care. So make the switch. Take your paycheck back from health insurance this year. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
European Union lawmakers agree to take steps aimed at combating massive illegal immigration.
The EU's moved forward with a vast overhaul of its migration strategy, aiming to ramp up deportations in what rights groups compare to the Trump administration's aggressive immigration policies. The provisional agreement, which will now go to lawmakers and heads of state for approval, comes as critics argue the new regulation could harm human rights. EU member states will be able to set up bilateral deals with countries outside the bloc to build deportation centres. Some nations are already in talks with third countries, mostly in Africa, to host what's called return hubs on the model of Italy's detention deal with Albania. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Archaeologists are digging beneath Notre Dame Cathedral, exploring as far back as Roman Paris. From some 2,000 years ago, so far, hundreds of objects uncovered, including a 4th century coin and a medieval jug. News and analysis at townhall.com. AI is aiding a musician who suffers Parkinson's.
Artificial intelligence is helping a London-based singer-songwriter continue writing and recording music after Parkinson's disease largely took away his ability to play guitar. Samuel Smith relied on AI-powered song generators to create the demos for one track on his new album, The Art of Letting Go. He says the apps allowed him to convey his vision to the session musicians who recorded the song after his guitar skills deteriorated. The technology has divided the music industry and produced copyright infringement lawsuits. Keith Peters reporting.
5 American cruise ship passengers exposed to hantavirus are leaving a Nebraska quarantine facility. U.S. health officials say they'll complete monitoring at home after they remain symptom-free. They arrived in Nebraska several weeks ago following a deadly hantavirus outbreak during a South Atlantic cruise. Townhall.com.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging supplements clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
I'm John Rose, and I have the honor of representing Tennessee's 6th Congressional District in Congress. As my time in Washington comes to an end, I want you all to know that I plan to finish strong. That means helping as many of you as I can between now and January. So if you are having any issues with a federal agency, please reach out. Whether you're having difficulty getting a passport, you're waiting for an IRS refund, or you're being denied a medical claim by the VA, my team and I are ready to help. Constituent services is one of the most important things I do as your elected representative. You can reach out at johnrose.house.gov or call my office at 202-225-4231. Again, that number is 202-225-4231. I'm John Rose, serving you.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Ponder this. Imagine for a moment that you are lying on your deathbed. This is a great exercise to do each day in preparation for your very last day on earth. Think about the tests you've ever taken, the job interviews you've had, and the many life celebrations you've been a part of. In all of these cases, preparation makes for successful outcomes. The same is true for dying. We must prepare every day for the day we are to die, in case today might be our last. Make sure you are right with the Lord first and foremost. If you are a Catholic, make sure you are in the state of grace by receiving the sacrament of confession often. Next, make sure you are right with your family, friends, and all those who are in your world. Apologize to those who have offended you and mend relationships that need healing. Make each day a preparation for your last day on earth, because it just may be. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Live from the NCAA baseball tournament in Morgantown, West Virginia, this is a special edition of the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who tells his players to just keep swinging, John Fredericks.
Oh, great to have you back on the John Fredericks Media Network. Truth and clarity right here. I am your Godzilla of the Truth in America, coming live again from Morgantown, West Virginia. Yes, we're in God's country. Home of the Super Regionals. They're coming right here next week. Cal Poly coming into town. Who are they? Who cares? They're out in 2. And then we're shipping out to Omaha. Let's go, Mountaineers. So we're going to have a lot of fun here. Next weekend is going to be rocking and rolling. We're on the West Virginia Sports Nation bus. Well, you want to follow the Mountaineers, you got one place to go, and that's WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com. Everything is right there. And we're in our West Virginia Sports Nation bus now. What you want to do is you want to download our app. What app, John? Well, the app for West Virginia Sports Nation. Well, I don't really follow West Virginia. Doesn't matter. Download the app anyway, to the goodness of your heart. All you got to do is, if you got an Apple device, is go to the App Store, put in WV Sports Nation. Download your app there. If you have an Android, go to Google Play, and you can download it there. And when you download it, guess what happens when you hit that button? Guess who pops up? Well, right here with me, my good friend James Sanders of Titan Roofing, one of our sponsors, not only on the bus, but for the games, but also on our app, our feature sponsor on our W Sports Nation app. James Sanders, Titan Roofing. James, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having me this morning, John.
Okay, guys, you have been there for us from day one. I want to thank you, James, for that. Tell us a little bit about why you're so excited about the Mountaineers and about your company. And you got a big giveaway coming up, James.
Yeah, so when it comes to the Mountaineers, man, what a weekend. I barely have a voice. I'm glad I'm able to talk a little bit this morning, but just excitement. 9th inning, 10th inning, it's nothing better than Morgantown than baseball right now.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to be a lot of fun. And did you ever think we'd be hosting a Super Regional here? First time ever.
No, it's awesome. I can't wait till next weekend. What a team we have, and they just don't quit.
Right, they don't quit. You know, Kentucky came back yesterday, tied it, and I was getting texts from people, oh, my God, Kentucky came back. And I'm like, I went to bed, honestly. I'm like, if Kentucky doesn't have a 5-run lead in the 9th inning, they're not going to win this game. And I got up an hour to go to the bathroom, so they won 6-5 and had the winner there. And it was a ball that kind of sneaked through the infield. I saw the replay of it when it first hit. I thought it would be an out.
Yeah.
It just kind of sneaked through, and Cresser was able to score from second. But if they field, Kentucky had fielding problems all weekend. That really was a ball that should have been fielded. and then maybe they throw Guzman out, maybe they don't, but certainly they don't score off it. But if you look at the first 2 runs in the game, both were manufactured runs. Walk, stolen bases, a wild pitch here, there, ground ball to shortstop, guys on second, gets to third. Like nobody does that. So they just played sound baseball, and they kind of stole 2 runs early, and that was the margin of difference.
Yeah, they played small ball last night. They really stayed within themselves and just kept playing and playing and playing, and it worked out for them.
Too much fun. Let me ask you something. Tell me a little bit about Titan Roofing. You had a big giveaway coming up. You want to take advantage of probably the biggest thing that's hit this area, this whole Morgantown area in ever, maybe 50 years ever, is the Super Regional here. But you had a big giveaway with Titan Roofing coming up, James. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this is going to be our 6th annual Veteran Roof Giveaway. We always want to honor our veterans and do it a better way. In the first 5 years, we put on and installed 13 roofs for free for veterans. So starting June the 8th all the way till the end of June, you can go to winatitanroof.com, and then you can nominate a veteran. So the key to this is give a great backstory. Tell us why you're nominating that veteran. And once again, it's at winatitanroof.com. We'll take the whole month of July. We'll vet all of them. We had over 500 and some entrants last year, and then we'll announce it in August.
So you want to go to, what is it again?
winatitanroof.com.
All together, winatitanroof.com. winatitanroof.com. Nominate a veteran.
Yes.
To get a free new roof, and tell you why.
Tell us why. Tell us why you're nominating that veteran. Listen, they sign their name on that dotted line and say, hey, I don't know you, but I'll die for you if I need to. So what a better way to honor them than give them a roof?
I love the idea. I tell you what, if people are not a veteran and they just need roofing help, where do they go?
Go to titanroofing.com and look us up, fill out a form, or give us a call at 304-244-9292. Be happy to come out, give you a free estimate. No hassle, no pressure. We'll give you an honest assessment of your roof, and we'll take care of you.
Titanroofing.com. Go to titanroofing.com. Everything is there. Founding sponsor of our WV Sports Nation app, James Sanders at Titan Roofing. We thank James for all you do for us. Couldn't make that app possible without you, and also a sponsor of our WV Sports Nation bus right outside the stadium. What do you think of the bus?
I love it. It really stands out. You drive up over the hill, the first thing you see is the bus. It is awesome.
Hear that, all of our sponsors? First thing you see is the bus when you drive up, and wouldn't it be possible without our smoke? There's our bus now. There's a picture of it.
Yeah,
right?
that's beautiful, isn't it?
Isn't it great? And now we're going to be back for the Super Regionals. I still got a couple of ad spots to sell, so tell Pasqua, tell him he's got a phone and a pen.
Hey, it's money well spent. You have 6,000-7,000 people. You probably have 1,000 people up on the hill watching the game.
Yeah, it was 70. I think biggest crowd ever, second biggest crowd, 7,200 last night, standing room only, and then another 1,000 up on the ridges. So probably had 8,200 people seeing this bus when they came by, because you got to go in the stadium. You got to go past this bus.
Yeah, you have to.
You got to go past it. So for those of you in West Virginia or looking for exposure in West Virginia and to be part of the biggest thing ever, you want to advertise with us and go on our even Todd Sheets got nothing to do with it. He's coming up. He's excited. He's like, how can I buy an ad? How can I buy an ad in this bus for my Substack, which I don't charge for? Todd, that doesn't make any sense, but thank you. Just go to titanroofing.com, titanroofing.com. James Sanders, thank you so much for being with us, James.
Hey, thanks for having me, sir.
Okay, now that you're on the show, you can bet that I'm going to hit you up for a campaign donation. MakeDCGreat.com, MakeDCGreat.com. Just like I hit Todd up. Todd, thank you for that. And we shake everybody down. That's what we do. Shake them down. Get those campaign donations coming in. James, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Good man. Quick word from our sponsors. Todd Sheets and I will be right back. Keep it right here on the John Fredericks Media Network.
The first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free.
Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. We played the game to win the game.
All right. How about third down then? What is going on with third down?
It's one game. Last game, we were great on third down. You're looking at this from the wrong perspective. LSU won the football game. Won the game. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want? You want us to win 70-0 against Florida to keep you happy?
No, I think people want to know why you can't run the ball, quite honestly.
We can run the ball. Did you see the last play of the game? That's all you need. You just need one. There's a ridiculous questions. You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled. This team is 17-1 at night. 17-1. Give them some respect.
He's your Godzilla of the truth in America.
Run! It's Godzilla!
No gibberish or nonsense, just common sense. And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
You're back on the John Fredericks Media Network. I am your Godzilla of the truth in America. Not a lot of time, but big guest joining us, Todd Sheets. Todd, thanks for being with us today. You can follow Todd if I run out of time on Substack. It's free. Todd Sheets, 2 E's. Not like Sheets where you get coffee and gas. SHEETS. You can follow him on Substack, always free. Todd, thanks for being with us.
Great to be with you again, John.
Gas prices are coming down. We're trying to figure out why. Help us out here. I'm in Morgantown, West Virginia. Just filled up my truck, $3.59. Why are gas prices coming down when the straits aren't opened, and what's going to happen in the future?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think part of this is the expectation that there's going to be a deal here to bring the war to an end. And so, we're starting to see the futures markets have settled down quite a bit. And so all this stuff is based on the anticipation of what is going to happen in addition to what's happening currently. And I think the expectations about the future are that it's the markets believe it's probable that we're going to see this war come to an end through a negotiated agreement here. And then, that's going to take all this gas or oil, that's floating around on these tankers out at sea, and in the strait that hasn't been able to get out. And all of a sudden that's going to be coming onto the marketplace, and that's going to start relieving all this pressure. So I think that's what we're probably seeing there.
Time frame.
Well, the time frame is all dependent on what happens with the agreement. And who knows? I mean, it seems like that's been a day or two away for a week or two, if not a little bit longer. So, it's hard to negotiate with people when you don't know who represents who and who can stand up for what kind of thing. So Let's just say that the agreement gets settled in the next week or so. I think you start seeing prices come down pretty quickly. I mean, I think that's what we're hearing from the markets. Each time we see something like there's an anticipation of an imminent deal, we see a 3 to 4, 5% drop. So I think that's telling us that the markets are expecting that things will resettle fairly quickly. Maybe not all the way back down right away, because it will take a little while, but they'll start moving back towards where we were.
What does our increased energy production in the United States do to gas prices here?
Well, it insulates us. It doesn't isolate us so that we're completely unaffected, but it insulates us so we're not as affected as the rest of the world is by all of this. And it also insulates the rest of the world as well. I mean, we're the biggest economy by far. Energy usage is tied to the size of the economy. And if we weren't producing as much as we are, the rest of the world would be paying substantially higher prices also. So, without the things that Trump's done with energy policy, our ability to stand up to Iran and try and deal with them in the Middle East, we probably wouldn't have been able to do the things that we're doing right now.
Well, I think, is there a benefit here that this has forced increased energy production? Obviously, like when you're in Texas and you're drilling, when oil gets, $80, $90 a barrel, it becomes more profitable to explore and find new, sources of wells and sources of energy than when it's $50 a barrel, because you can't make any money doing that. That's, just kind of basic economics 101. So could there be a silver lining here?
I think there is a silver lining. I think one is it probably raises production, maybe not quite as quickly as it would if the markets thought these prices were going to stay around, or definitely not as quickly. So the drillers and the E&P, or the exploration and production companies, they're not going to be as aggressive as they would be if they were expecting oil prices to stay at $100 a barrel for the next 5 years, which I think they clearly don't. At the same time, this is a bit like COVID. It's a wake-up call. And it's a wake-up call that the world cannot be as dependent on the Strait of Hormuz as it had been before. And just like we learned during COVID, our businesses have to have supply chains that aren't entirely dependent on China or some other place in Southeast Asia that gets shut down. And they have to diversify their supply chains and be able to manufacture and source all over the world. The world is going to learn that from this experience as well. So I think that is going to have a beneficial impact on demand for our energy. Because, one message the world is getting is that if we make it here, it's available. And so that's, there's no Strait of Hormuz here that somebody's going to shut down on us and all of a sudden block their access. So I think companies, without being forced to, they are going to change their buying patterns at some level, and they'll be able to pay they'll be willing to pay a little more for American energy than they would have before, because they don't want to be, let's say, 80, 90, 100% dependent, on what's coming out of the Gulf.
Drill, baby, drill.
Absolutely.
About.
Yeah.
I mean, all this is coming. Todd, I got to ask you, Todd Sheets with us. Todd, our economic guru on the John Fredericks Media Network, also wrote the greatest book ever written on the 2008 crash, What Really Happened. You can get it on Amazon. Todd Sheets, 2 E's. Todd, I want to ask you about the underlying pillars of this economy, which I am very bullish on. When you look at all of the numbers and all of the infrastructure of this economy that we've built, it is built on a very firm foundation of GDP up, jobs up, wages up, regulations down. I mean, Kelly Loeffler was on my show the other day, like sometime last week. I almost fell off my chair when she said that we're opening up, people are opening up 500,000 new businesses a month, small businesses a month. It's like a stunning number when when the Democrats are telling us that the sky is falling and we're all going to die. Why would you open up a new business at $1 million every 2 months? Are the pillars, is the foundation of this economy such that once this war ends, it can explode?
Well, that's what I feel is going to happen, absent something else. I mean, if we just look at the past year and you think of the enormity of the changes, that we're going through, as we've talked about before, we've got the biggest and strongest ocean liner in the world, which is our economy. Unfortunately, it's been sailing into troubled waters for, 25 years of mismanagement other than, Trump's first term. So it takes a while to get that headed out. The change itself is a big factor, but they've also had to work through the tariffs, which we've talked about. There's pros and cons involved. One of the cons is the uncertainty that the businesses have to deal with when they can't project their costs, and they had to deal with the government shutdown, and now they've had to deal with this war, shutting down the Strait of Hormuz and all of what that's created. And on top of that, all of that, we've got good job numbers. We've got unemployment at like 4.3%, which is effectively, about as low as you can expect for it to get. And I'm with you. We've got all this enormous investment going on in artificial intelligence. We are just seeing the beginnings of the benefits of that trickling into the system. And on top of all that, we've had all this fear mongering out there about artificial intelligence. And, we've got the people, they don't want the data centers. My understanding is if you ask people, you call somebody up and you say, well, are you in favor of allowing data centers in your state? And they'll say, yes, that's fine. No big deal. Somebody calls up and says, are you in favor of having artificial intelligence data centers in your state? The answer tends to be no. That's the fear mongering on AI. So we've had all of these things weighing on top of it, and yet we've got this enormous strength in the economy, which you referenced, which we see in the job numbers. We see it in the GDP numbers. And I think the most important thing for people to keep in mind here is this is not government driven. There's an old Milton Friedman quote about the Federal Reserve that we can apply to the government, more generally, which is that they disavow themselves of every mistake they make that causes a downturn, and they take credit for every favorable outcome. All the while, all the evidence shows that the exact opposite is the case. And so what is the strength of this? One, it's the diversity of the economy. And with this incredibly diverse mechanism that we have, this isn't a manufacturing based or just a service based, it's the diversity of the economy. Second, it's the benefit of all of this compounded growth that we've had for so long and the wealth effect that creates for people, which allows them to continue spending in periods when they wouldn't otherwise. And then it's being the technology leader of the world, so that all of these transformative technologies that are creating all this investment and jobs and dynamic growth, that is headquartered here. And it's headquartered here for a reason. It's because the freedoms, both socially and economically, are better than anywhere else in the world, and there's less regulation here. So you take all of those factors of a free market economy, and you get something that is incredibly more stable than anybody would predict and is even capable of growing through this period. And I agree with you. We can get through this stuff, bring the war to an end, have a satisfactory conclusion there. This thing is chomping at the bit. It's like a racehorse being held behind the gates at the open.
Wants to run, baby. You want to run.
Yep.
And that's kind of where this is at right now. Consumer confidence is up. All the naysayers and the Democrats telling us, we're miserable, we're wretched, everybody hates their life. I mean, consumer confidence is up. Well, why is it up? Why are people, 500,000 small businesses a month? Like, why do you open up a small business if you think that we're all going to die? Why would you do that? It's the fake news telling you a fake narrative backed by fake polls. I'm telling you, Todd, that's all this is. This war's going to end, and this economy is going to take off like a bat out of hell. Todd, thanks for being with us. People want to follow you. Where do they go?
Yeah, go to Substack, search my name, as you said, Todd Sheets with 2 E's, on Wealth and Progress, or they can go to their favorite podcasting service and they get the same information usually it's a 5-6 minute kind of video each week. So,
well, you're the best, Todd. Thank you. Thanks for being with us. Todd Sheets, as always. Senator Marsha Blackburn is next.
Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are a $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's gonna ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code GODZILLA.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code GODZILLA for free activation.
You can't turn the ball over 5 times like that. Holy crap. I don't know who the hell we think we are when we do something like that. Unbelievable. 5 turnovers. One of them, we've thrown 4 interceptions for touchdowns this year. That might be an NFL record. That's pitiful. I mean, it's absolutely pitiful to perform like that. Pitiful. What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
You're on the John Fredericks Media Network, and I am your Godzilla of the Truth in America. Truth and clarity right here, coming to you live from Morgantown, West Virginia. Yeah, we're in God's country. Tennessee, that can be that way too, but here we are right outside of Kendrick Family Ballpark. This is going to be the scene of the Super Regionals coming right here after West Virginia's big victory yesterday, sent Kentucky packing, fired them buses up back to Lexington. See ya. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed your stay. We're staying home. Cal Polytech coming in. So lots of fun here. We're going to be, of course, here next week as well. Volunteers, much to Marsha Blackburn's chagrin, knocked out of the playoffs yesterday. They're gone. So no more baseball for Volunteers this season. Got to wait till next year, as they always say in Tennessee Orange Country. Well, just got to wait. Joining us now, Senator, Tennessee, soon to be the next governor. Can't put the cart before the horse. She's got to win the primary, but she's running for governor, U.S. Senator, Tennessee, our good friend, FOJ, friend to John, Marsha Blackburn. Senator, thanks for being with us.
Good morning, and it's always good to be with you. Thank you so much.
Senator, let's get right to a couple things right here. I want to start with, before we get to the Fraud Accountability Act that you introduced, we picked up another seat potentially in Tennessee in Congress to help hold the House. That was in Memphis. Yes, the governor had to do the special session. Yes, the senators had to pass it, etc. But I told everybody for a week that you sent a tweet out, an X out, moments after the Supreme Court ruling. I think you were ready to go. Moments. And you demanded a special session from the governor and to get this seat. And I think that he didn't want to do it. You know what? You don't have to comment. Bill Lee didn't want to do it. But I believe that you were relentless in the pressure that you put on, and you got us that one seat. And that's, Marsha, what leadership's about.
One of the things that we saw with the Supreme Court decision was they said you cannot craft a district or exercise redistricting based on race, just as you can't use race for admissions in college or for employment. So to me, it made sense that there would be a revisit of those districts so that it would come into compliance with the Supreme Court order, because the DOJ said they were going to enforce and abide by that court order. And what you don't want to do is hold an election, elect somebody, and then it gets thrown into court, and then you have no one to take that seat come January 3rd when the U.S. House of Representatives is sworn in. So my thought was, let's revisit this. Tennessee is a conservative state. Let's look at these districts. If you're going to change those lines, change them sooner, not later.
Okay, you don't have to comment on this, but I can. Had you not put that pressure on and been on social media and done other things behind the scenes, I don't think Bill Lee would have ever had this special session. We know for a fact he didn't want to do it, but look, you got Senator Blackburn, let's see, what's the correct word here? Strongly suggesting it, demanding it, and you got that done. And I think that's the kind of leadership we're going to get from Senator Blackburn when we're calling her Governor Blackburn from Tennessee. Marsha, let's get back to the Senate. I'm going to start with your Fraud Accountability Act and the Somali fraud you found in Minnesota. Give us the background on it and what you think you're going to accomplish with that, Senator Blackburn.
Well, the American people and Tennesseans want to see you fighting for them. And that's important to do. And as we looked at the issue of fraud, what we found was that people who are in the country either as on permanent residence, green cards, illegally in the country or legally, if they go in and they defraud local, state, and federal government, if they defraud U.S. citizens, it tells us they're here for the wrong reason. So what my bill does is look at that Immigration and Naturalization Act and tweak the provisions around denaturalization and deportation to say, if you're conducting this fraudulent activity, you're going to be out of here. And, John, one of the things we hear is, oh, the immigration courts are really backed up. well, let's do this. Let's allow any federal court to hear these deportation and denaturalization cases. So we are working this bill through Judiciary Committee. We are trying to move it forward. As you know, right now, we're working on the reconciliation bill to fund ICE and Border Patrol for the rest of President Trump's term, and trying to get FISA done. And this is on our to-do list to update that so that any kind of fraud, right now, you can conduct up to $10,000 worth of fraud before it triggers any type of oversight. Well, if you are defrauding at that level, and say you've got 5 family members, you can pay them all $9.99 and be under that level that wouldn't trigger anything. All fraud is bad. $1 fraud is bad. The practice of fraud is bad, and it's wrong, and it should be a denaturalizing or deporting event, and that's what my bill does.
Listen, you got to get this bill through. Now, have you put this into reconciliation? How does it make its way in there?
Well, the reconciliation bill is going to be very, very narrow.
Okay.
And it's going to deal with those 2 provisions. And then we will be back into regular order. There are some of us, the conservatives in the Senate, we're called the steering committee, Rick Scott, Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, me, Eric Schmidt, Cynthia Lummis, and we're the steering committee for the executive committee for steering, as we're called there in the Senate. Ron Johnson's a part of this too. And we're trying to push forward Save America and find ways to get pieces of Save America across the finish line. And I have legislation, we're working on that would incentivize states to check their voter rolls once every quarter against the DHS rolls for people that are in the country illegally. See, DHS knows who's here, and people that have visas and permanent resident status, because we need to make certain these people are taken off the voter rolls, because many of them, when they got a driver's license, and that driver's license, we don't have many states that note on, note on the driver's license, you are a U.S. citizen, and makes that distinction between people that are in the country legally and can get a license or people that are citizens. So my bill would require the checking against that database so that we take people that are in the country off those voter rolls.
I tell you, it just makes sense. Everything you do makes sense. That's why you're like the common sense conservative senator in the U.S. Senate. Let's go to the SAVE Act. We can't even get a vote on it. I mean, they're trying to put it in a reconciliation bill. I don't think you have the votes there. But we just want to vote on it on the floor so we can hold everybody accountable. And I'm not sure if you did that with what's going on in Maine. You couldn't convince Susan Collins to vote for this because without MAGA behind her, she's going to lose to the communists. So why can't Thune get this to the floor for a vote?
There are not 50 votes for this. And this is one of our frustrations, is that we don't yet have 50 votes. When we get to 50 votes, then let's get it to the floor. And if we can't get a vote on it, let's go after these pieces that we can get across the floor. And I am pushing to get it done. I've been with Save America since day one. And we want to get this done. It is vital to get this done. And so if we have to break it apart and do it piece by piece, we'll do it that way. but the goal is to get it passed.
So we have a 53 to 50 majority. We only need 50 votes, basically, even in reconciliation. If you put it there, we don't have the votes for the filibuster, which is a separate topic we'll get to in a second. But I mean, you can understand the frustration of many of us. And I'm in DC.
Absolutely.
You understand
I'm frustrated too.
I mean, we can't, this is like the most important election integrity act you could have. 80% of Americans support this bill in its entirety. In some pieces of it, it's over 90%. We have a 53 to 50 majority, and we can't even get 50 Republicans to vote for this bill to come on the floor, which isn't going to pass if you don't get rid of the filibuster anyway. And so they won't even bring it. And so we look at this and we say, well, they're just hiding. They don't want to go on the record. And, we know who the 4 or 5 senators are, right? McConnell, Tillis, Collins, Murkowski, et cetera. But the fact that we can't bring it to the floor and we can't get 50 votes is just frustrating. If if it was something the Democrats wanted to do, they'd always get the votes they need. Why can't we get our conference to back this?
And that is something that is frustrating to me, just as it is frustrating to you, because this is a common sense measure. It is common sense that you would be a citizen of our country in order to vote and have a say in our election. And it is also common sense that you would show an ID when you go to the polls. And it is common sense that you would do what Tennessee does. We've got the most secure elections in the country. People are a citizen, and people show an ID when they walk in the poll to vote. They verify that they are who they say they are. But you know what? The Democrats are now so far left, John. They do everything they can do to make illegal legal, to circumvent the rule of law. And when I talk to Tennesseans, they've about had it with that kind of disrespect for the rule of law in our country. They want to see us codifying what President Trump has been doing by executive order. They want to make certain this border remains secure. They want to make certain that taxes stay low. And they're so pleased with the big, beautiful bill. They want to see prices come down, the price at the pump, the price of groceries, the price of housing. And they know that Congress has a role to play in this. And the fact that things are not moving forward is incredibly frustrating. And the House and the Senate need to work more together on some of these issues. The House would do well to stay in town and work and get things over to the Senate, and the Senate needs to take these measures up and, as you said, take them to the floor, get a vote on it.
I mean, we understand if people don't want to vote for something, but we can deal with that later. But the fact that we can't even get them on the record, as I think it just drives everybody crazy. Like, just go vote so we know what we're dealing with. And, maybe if they have to vote and they have to, some of them are retiring, so they don't care. They have to face voters like Collins. Look, I like Susan Collins. I've defended her forever. It's Maine, right? She votes with us the overwhelming majority of the time. I have no problem with her. But she has to be held like anybody else. You want to be an elected official, you got to be held accountable to what you're going to vote for. And I think that's why a lot of people are just wringing their hands over it. Let's get to the filibuster. A lot of people on our side talk about frustration, don't understand why John Thune, your leader, just doesn't get rid of this thing. We know he can do it. The Democrats would do it in 15 minutes. Why doesn't he do it? Why are we stuck with this thing?
And the votes are not there to do away with the filibuster. As you know, back in 2018, I was saying we should get rid of the filibuster in the Senate. So I'm there. And pardon me, I have been there. But what we have seen is there are not the votes for it. And no one person can just do away with the filibuster. So there again, you've got two things that the American people overwhelmingly want to see done, and the votes do not exist in the Senate to accomplish those two things. And I understand the frustration because I get frustrated also. And I want to make certain that we get President Trump's agenda across the finish line. And I think the conduct and the lack of common sense that exists with some of our Democratic colleagues is it's astounding to me. I absolutely do not see where they arrive at some of their decisions. Why would they be against enforcing the rule of law, securing our border, paying ICE and Border Patrol? And why? And we know the reason. They have made a promise to their far left that they're going to abolish ICE and defund the police. So this is their latest version of that. And because of that, you have seen TSA agents and so many going without their paychecks. And it's frustrating to see that happen. You know, you have operations that are taking place. Pardon me. And out in the field, Homeland Security investigations. These are agents that cannot be paid. Why can they not be paid? Because you've got the Democrats, and they are refusing to pay them. We have had more shutdowns of DHS than anything else. And people are saying, hey, wait a minute, this is not the way this is supposed to be working.
You're on the John Fredericks Media Network, Trucking the Truth Across America. We're with U.S. Senator, Tennessee Republican Marsha Blackburn. She's also the leading candidate for the Republican nomination for governor in Tennessee. That'll be in a primary in August. She's a heavy favorite to win that. And then, of course, favored to be the next incoming governor of Tennessee. Bill Lee's his time is termed out. So he'll be retiring, and likely we're going to see a governor, Marsha Blackburn. Marsha, let's get to the Iran war. Just give us your thoughts on where we are now and what you think President Trump has to do.
President Trump has said from the beginning, the goal is to make certain that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. They need to do two things. One is to turn over that enriched uranium and then to open the Strait of Hormuz. And he has been very consistent in that. He has another proposal back to Iran following their latest proposal. And of course, they don't want to turn over that enriched uranium. And they're saying now, well, it is buried so deep. Well, even if we have to go in there and get it to turn it over to the International Atomic Energy Agency, we would do that. But the point is you have to make certain for the good of our children and grandchildren and all mankind that we never have a nuclear armed Iran. We shut that down. So the president is continuing to work on this. He wants this done quickly. As he and Secretary Bessent have said, as soon as they get that strait open. And by the way, that's international waters. Why would we allow Iran to go in there and set up a toll booth? And they need to get those mines out of the strait. This needs to be open so that commerce can take place.
Are you in favor of us, of President Trump, if he has to, escalating things and taking those islands over to ensure that militarily we can take control of the strait, if need be?
I think it's best not to focus on hypotheticals. And, John, I really think it's best just to give the President, Secretary Bessent, Vice President Vance, and, of course, Steve Witkoff is involved in these negotiations, as is Jared Kushner, and they are working every single day. Marco Rubio is kind of leading this team. Let's give them the ability to conduct the work that they need to work so that we can end this. Iran has been at war with us for 47 years. President Trump said he was going to end endless wars. And this is another step in keeping that commitment.
Final thing, because what you're saying is fair enough. I get it. Fiery phone call yesterday reported between President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel. The President Trump, not happy about the constant excursions and bombing into Lebanon. Do you kind of have the same position on that? Just let everything play out? Because if you look at some of what's leaked out about that call, President really not happy with the situation with Israel.
And I was not privy to the content of the call. I know we've heard some secondhand accounts.
Right.
And I know that the president is working with Netanyahu, and inappropriate, I think, to really weigh in when I was not privy to it and I've not seen that transcript.
Okay, final thing. I live in Washington, D.C. You're there during the week. Have you ever seen an urban community, an urban center, an urban city, the level of revitalization that has gone on there? Have you ever witnessed that in your life? Maybe Memphis would be number 2. It's incredible.
And I tell you, Memphis and what we have done with the Memphis Safe Task Force is absolutely phenomenal. I was down there last week in Memphis, and it is just awesome. So they are doing great things. You're seeing a great revitalization here in D.C., where I am this morning, and I think people are happy to see it.
Senator Marsha Blackburn, thank you. Thank you for being with us today. People want to follow your campaign. Where do they go?
MarshaBlackburn.com.
Senator, thank you. Always great to have you with us. Thank you for your candor and your insight. We're going to be right back. Texas Truth Line coming up at 9. Keep it right here on the John Fredericks Media Network.
WJFN W224EB 92.7 FM Chester, W299D 107.7 Bonaire, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJFB Portsmouth AM 1650.
From Town Hall, Amit Thomason. President Trump remains optimistic about prospects for a U.S.-Iran deal. He says it could come quickly, perhaps in a week. Ukrainian civilians have endured another massive assault by Russia. A missile and drone barrage left at least 17 people dead, dozens wounded.
Elias Farias, a 47-year-old Kyiv civil engineer, describes the scale of the attack.
It was terrible. It's one of the worst I have experienced.
While another Kyiv resident, Urania Salikova, tells the AP, we heard several explosions. Several neighbors ran out into the yard with children with bags running for shelters. I don't know how many people, but several were injured in this attack, which happened near our house. Our window was broken and a cobblestone flew into the children's room. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Florida's new congressional redistricting map will stay. An appeals court has rejected a Democrat lawsuit against the map, upholding a trial court's previous ruling. On social media, Governor Ron DeSantis writes, "Get ready for November." Turmoil rocks CBS television signature news magazine.
Last week, CBS fired 60 Minutes executive producer Tanya Simon and correspondent Sharon Alfonsi and Cecilia Vega. At a meeting to start the week, a longtime anchor spoke up.
I'm Scott Pelley.
According to a detailed report on the Status website, Pelley said CBS News head Barry Weiss is murdering the show and accused Simon's replacement as executive producer Nick Bilton of having slender qualifications for the job. The report says Weiss was not at the meeting. Bilton insisted Weiss does love CBS News and 60 Minutes. Pelley countered by saying she was brought in to kill it, and she's doing exactly that. I'm Ed Donahue.
Watching Wall Street, the Dow futures down 228 points, NASDAQ futures off 17. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Looking for a great real estate agent? Someone who can help you sell your home fast and for top dollar? Go to ready.com, REDY.com. Because on Ready, agents will pay you just for the opportunity to sell your home. Yeah, on Ready, agents will pay you for your listing. Thousands of dollars up front just for a chance to sell your home. And it's easy. Just go to ready.com, enter your address, and when you want to sell. In just 48 hours, the best local agents are competing on Ready to be your agent with cash offers up front just to win your business. Hey, your listing is valuable. Don't give it away. Make those agents earn it. Get paid to pick your real estate agent. Go to ready.com or call 800-885-REDY. 800-885-READY.
Rescuers in Laos have turned to tech as they try to reach a couple of villagers thought to be trapped in a flooded cave. Their exact whereabouts, a mystery.
The Laos Rescue Volunteer for People group has posted on its Facebook page that heavy rain caused massive amounts of water to flow down into the cave area, forcing them to suspend operations. Now, Ken Kajbong Kawan, head of the Thai group Meta Tam Rescue Kalasin, says, the team and I have used a radar scanner and satellite images and many other things as a basis for our navigation of the mountain to look for the cave's air shafts that are vertical ventilation that may provide access to where they are trapped. Rescuers believe the two missing people are trapped deeper inside the cave than the location where the 5 survivors were originally found on Wednesday. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
NVIDIA has taken the wraps off a powerful new chip to bring advanced artificial intelligence to Windows laptops and desktops. News and analysis, townhall.com. A former North Carolina police officer is facing charges after a beating. It was captured on doorbell camera video.
Video of 22-year-old Shelby officer Carson Hyder pummeling Sherry Moore last week circulated widely on social media.
Let go! I got her!
Hyder was responding to a breaking and entering call when the scuffle began. He has since been fired, and the state's Bureau of Investigation says they've opened an investigation. Moore herself faces a charge for alleged breaking and entering, but resisting arrest and assault on a police officer were dropped. Her attorney told the Associated Press she's recovering and receiving treatment for her mental health. I'm Jennifer King.
The Department of War has declared its press office off limits to journalists. Last October, many reporters turned in their access badges over newly imposed limits on their movement inside the Pentagon. The New York Times has sued the War Department twice over the issue. More on these stories at townhall.com.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Trouble concentrating or recalling information is frustrating, embarrassing, and kills productivity. Nutrition company Healthy Cell created Focus and Recall to boost your brain power. Unlike other supplements that don't work, Focus and Recall is not a pill. It's a gel you swallow with ultra absorption of science-backed ingredients to help you immediately sharpen focus, concentrate longer, and strengthen recall. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order. Risk-free. Love it or your money back. Guaranteed. Healthycell.com. Code GODZILLA.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
And later on, at summer's close, the crack of bats where heroes rose, we cheered at games beneath the sky, remembering those who sacrificed. Oh, liberty, land of the brave and true, blessed by God in all we do, from golden shores to mountains grand, the greatest blessing in this land. We raise our voices clear and bold, a story that will not grow old.
Live from the NCAA baseball tournament in Morgantown, West Virginia, this is a special edition of the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who tells his players to just keep swinging, John Fredericks.
Well, you got him. Great to be here. Jenny Beth Martin coming up. We're live in Morgantown. That's right, baby. Morgantown, West Virginia. You know the scene here. Everything is rocking and rolling. Great to be with you. The Mountaineers, well, they're going to be hosting a super region. We'll be back here next week starting on Thursday. Come back on Thursday night, go home tonight, come right back, and then they're going to Omaha because there's no way Cal Poly comes in here and wins 2 out of 3. There is zero times zero chance. So this team is going to Omaha. You can follow everything. Go to wvsportsnation.com, wvsportsnation.com, and we're rocking and we're rolling. This segment brought to you by Mountaineer Healthcare, my good friend Barry Draper. This guy's got it figured out. Mountaineer Healthcare from the Smart Health Company of Barry Draper. Well, they're helping families, individuals, and businesses like you get quality health care coverage without getting destroyed financially. You know how hard this is? Now, you get complete and comprehensive coverage, including, check this out, hospitalization, boom, surgery, and critical illness protection. You also get access to a nationwide PPO network and low $15 doctor visit copays. Need quick care? Unlimited free telemedicine included. Boom. Well, you need to get a prescription covered? No problemo. They've got fully tiered prescription drug plans too. Now, whether you need an individual plan for yourself or a group plan for your company, Mountaineer Healthcare, they're great. They have flexible options designed to save you some serious money. And here's the kickerino. Rates can be 30 to 40% lower than unsubsidized marketplace plans. Sorry, I don't know what Larry's doing there, but he made me laugh. Unsubsidized marketplace plans, you got it going on. All you got to do is give them a call, 833-752-6742, 833-752-6742. Let me say that again, 833-752-6742, or you can visit MountaineerHealthPlan.com. MountaineerHealthPlan.com. Do it today. Mountaineer Healthcare and the Smart Health Company. Smart coverage, real savings and peace of mind. Truth, clarity, real healthcare savings. And we thank them for being a sponsor of our show and for offering our listeners a real good alternative. Okay, Jenny Beth. Yes, it was Larry. I guess wanted to highlight my tie. Oh my goodness, Dan, you just can't make this stuff up. Now, if you wanted to highlight Jenny Beth, that would be a different story. That would make ratings go up. But trying to highlight my tie, probably not the best utilization of the TV camera. Let's see, Jenny Beth.
But it's a nice yellow tie, John.
Oh, sorry, Jenny Beth. I glanced up and all I saw was my tie on the screen. That was it. That's all I saw. I'm like, okay, Larry, you hit the wrong button there, dude. You got to be careful. We're trying to teach Larry the camera here on the bus. Jenny Beth, it's good to see you. Jenny Beth Martin, everybody knows Jenny Beth. She is a founder of Tea Party Patriots and runs the organization. She's got podcasts, the Jenny Beth Show. So that's pretty neat. So, Jenny, tell us about what your thoughts here. Just before I even ask you a question, break everything down, unplug Jenny Beth. What's going on?
Well, I just returned from Maine with Scott Pressler, where we were working on the Save America Act. He and I have been to South Dakota, Arizona, Alaska, and Maine, and we'll be in Nevada pretty soon. It's probably going to be July before we make it there, but we're headed to Nevada, again, working on the Save America Act and working to save America more broadly. So specifically with the act, and then also making sure that we plug activists in, get them more activated, and are making sure that they are equipped as we head into the fall.
So, Jenny Beth, I understand what you're doing, and thank you. Let's get to reality. I just had on Senator Marsha Blackburn. Here's what she said. For the SAVE Act in the Senate, we can't bring it to the floor. We can't bring it to the floor because we don't have the votes. We don't have, specifically, she said, 50 votes. They're not there. Then I asked her about, of course, even if you had 50 votes, it wouldn't pass anyway. But you could get it to the floor, see who votes against it. Can't bring it to the floor, don't have 50 votes. Then I asked her about the filibuster. She agrees the Democrats would get rid of it in 5 seconds. She's voted to get rid of it, but she said, we don't have 50 votes. So I appreciate you going around the country, but you don't have 50 votes, including Susan Collins in Maine.
I don't think it's correct, John. She's looking at it because she's saying, and other people, including the Hill and others, have said there are not 50 votes because of an amendment that Kennedy offered to the vote-a-rama related to the budget resolution about 4 or 5 weeks ago. That resolution was not, that amendment was not the Save America Act, and Susan Collins and Grassley Grassley was not in the room, and Susan Collins did not vote for it. Had Grassley been in the room, it would have been an extra vote. And Susan Collins will vote for proof of citizenship to register to vote and voter ID. She's committed to it. Her staff is saying that she supports the House-backed version of the bill, and she's on the record doing that. She's also raising campaign funds for it. I have gone back and checked with other senators, and they've told me that that resolution that Kennedy offered, it absolutely was not the Save America Act, and it was something. It was, I think, more of a show vote than anything else. But she will vote for it, and Grassley will too. They both are co-sponsors of the bill. So there are 50 co-sponsors of the House-backed version of the bill. There are 50 votes. How do we get it passed? You're right about reconciliation, and I agree with Senator Blackburn. There are not 50 votes for getting rid of the filibuster. We have other mechanisms to get it passed, including possibly modifying it slightly and attaching it to reconciliation, either 2.0 related to the DHS funding or 3.0, which the House is still working on. Additionally, there's there's other legislation that Democrats are going to vote for, like FISA. And so if it was attached to FISA, then it could potentially be passed in the Senate. That still, of course, requires 60 votes, but you're more likely to get Democrats voting for that than not. The other thing is that the Senate is completely dysfunctional, and their attitude about things is dysfunctional right now as well. Speaker Mike Johnson has a razor thin majority, and he is able to go talk to every member of his conference, negotiate, and get them to yes. And he also talks to his Democrat counterparts. From what I can tell, especially when it comes to the Save America Act, the members are not talking to one another. They sure as heck aren't reaching beyond the aisle, and they need to do that. That's part of the legislative process. But a week and a half ago, they couldn't even be in the same room together, and they wound up having to leave early and not finish funding DHS because you've got some members who are too hot under the collar or licking their own wounds because they lost elections or didn't get President Trump's endorsement. But do I think it can still pass? I think it is still possible. That's why I'm working on it. This is something that over 80% of Americans want to see done. The major components, only American citizens voting and voter ID. 56% of Americans want the Senate to keep working on it before elections this year. And I'm going to do what I can to help the super majority of Americans who want to see this passed into law. And I continue to have those conversations with senators, and I'm doing all that I can. We're looking at modifications. Senator Thune told me if I had new legislative language, he'd take a look at that. So I've been working with a few people trying to get that to him, but we're not giving up. I refuse to just give up. President Trump was shot, and he got up and he said, fight, fight, fight. He didn't let that stop him. I'm not going to let these senators who seem not to have a spine stop me from continuing to try to get them to have a spine.
Jenny Beth Martin with us, founder, Tea Party Patriots. Jenny Beth, love the fight in you. That's kind of the attitude we have on our show every day. So let me ask you this. You're pretty convinced that Susan Collins would be the 50th vote here. You said she co-sponsored this bill, but it seemed like, according to Senator Blackburn, that Collins would be more amenable to voting this in a more piecemeal fashion than the actual SAVE Act itself. Is that what your position is?
Voted in a piecemeal fashion, put part of it in reconciliation and part in FISA. I don't think anyone who wants to see only American citizens voting and voter ID care which mechanism it takes to get those goals accomplished. So that's not an issue. I don't think that if I went and asked the grassroots or any of the audiences where I've been speaking, where Scott Presler has been speaking, that any of us would say, oh no, it must be exactly this with every single comment, every single period. We know what the goal needs to be. We want to make sure that whatever happens, if they break it up, if there are any legislative changes, that it is hard and fast and it accomplishes the goal. So as long as it truly accomplishes the goal, okay, then break it up. And I know that Cleta Mitchell is on the same page with me as this, as long as it accomplishes the goal and it's not completely watered down into nothing.
Well, that's, I think, the frustration that everyone has. And you really look at John Thune, and, Blackburn was pretty effusive here. Now, obviously, she wouldn't comment on the Iran war, and I respected that. She doesn't want to get out front of the president as a senator, but she was pretty effusive on the whole Senate thing. She said, like you, was dysfunctional. They ought to be there voting. They're always on vacation. She blasted that. But the other thing she said is that basically that they don't have nearly enough votes in the Senate to get rid of this filibuster. And then you look at what's going on with the fact that they can't even bring it to the floor of the SAVE Act. And you think they're doing it to protect senators, that those who want to vote no don't have to vote no. And so it's just conjecture about what they're going to do. I mean, isn't that part of the whole scheme in there? It's a scheme.
Well, it's a scheme. I cannot get inside the head of several of the senators and the leadership of the Senate. They don't make sense to me. But what I do understand is this, John. I do not think that the filibuster is going to be gone with this Republican Senate. So we can call for it, but I don't think that's going to happen. What I know is that what we are asking for, with only American citizens voting in American elections and voter ID when casting a ballot, that 80% plus, including over 70% of independents and liberals, independents, liberals, and Democrats, they agree with us on these issues. So the will, the support, this is not a tough vote. This is not a tough vote. You are voting to do what the American people want you to do. Now, what it doesn't have is a whole bunch of lobbyist money behind it, so it doesn't benefit the senators' bank accounts and their campaign coffers, but it does benefit them because they're voting and doing what the American people who elected them expect them to do. I think that.
Oh,
No,
go ahead.
go
I'm sorry.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I just think the Senate is completely dysfunctional, and what we're seeing right now is the evolution of over 100 years of dysfunction since the 17th Amendment was passed. And I think that at some point we need to have a much more serious conversation as a country about how we fix the Senate. If we get rid of the filibuster, we're going to have a House-like body instead of, so we'll have two chambers that function like the House of Representatives, but one that is far, far less accountable because elections happen only 6 years. And if we get rid of it, it will create even more problems, but it's a Band-Aid on top of the problems that exist right now. It doesn't get to the root cause of the problem.
What's the root cause?
I think the root cause is that we now directly elect senators instead of electing them through the state legislative bodies. If we're electing them through the state legislative bodies, they're no longer completely accountable to lobbyists. They're now accountable to elected officials. And we each can reach out to both of our elected officials at the state level and hold them accountable.
Wait. We're with Jenny Beth Martin. This is a bold plan. Okay, it's bold. So let me get my arms around it so everybody understands what Jenny Beth is advocating here. She wants to go back to, 1790 or something. And rather than, I think
it is not 1790. This changed back in
the
the early 1900s.
Well, whatever. It was like
we had over 100 years without this, John.
This was like when Abner Doubleday invented baseball, right? I mean, you got to go back a long time, right? But let me explain to everybody what you're advocating. You want to abolish the direct election by the people of a state for their U.S. senators.
I want to have a conversation about that as a country
because
what
you
the
said.
Senate
You said you want to abolish it.
I want to have that conversation. I think we need to have that conversation as a country because I think the Senate is completely dysfunctional. I think getting rid of the filibuster and some of the changes that we're talking about right now are going to make it in the long run even more dysfunctional.
Why?
It may accomplish a short-term goal.
Why would it be more dysfunctional?
When you've got a senator who is representing over 11 to 20 million people, you can have 5 or 6 or 8 million people in a state completely outraged, and they don't give a flip about it. They don't care because they have so many other people who they don't answer phone calls. They don't answer emails. It is impossible to get in touch with them. And we did, thankfully, just see actual change and accountability in Texas. Look how much money that cost to get to the point where we can have actual change and accountability in Texas. Over $100 million. It's insane. And I've been thinking a lot about it. I don't know if I'm right or not, but I think it is a discussion our country needs to have. When you reach out to your state representative and your state senator, they're representing thousands of people. Generally, not even hundreds of thousands of people, maybe hundreds of thousands. But
so you want the state legislatures to elect in their chamber the U.S. senator.
I think we need to have a discussion about what would happen if
That's
we did
crazy. I mean, that makes no sense. Then you take
what we're doing right now, John Fredericks, makes no sense.
Well,
You just said the Senate is dysfunctional. You said the Senate is dysfunctional. It is completely dysfunctional. We are about to have the 250th anniversary of our country. And we need to be paying attention to what are our founding principles and what are our limiting principles in this country. Because if we are not careful, we are going to be on the road to Marxism. We're headed there right now as a country. And we need to take a moment and go back and think about what is it that our founding fathers intended for this country to be? And what is it that happened when we created the Federal Reserve, when we changed how senators were elected, and when we established the income tax? How have we solved problems in the last 120 years since those things have happened? Or have we created even more problems in this country? And perhaps we need to take a moment back and get off of TikTok and get off of social media and have some serious discussions about how we're going to solve what's going on in this country. Because thank heavens we've got President Trump right now. He is a fearless fighter who wants to make America great. But not every president is that way. And heaven knows, when we look at the United States Senate, the vast supermajority, 90% of the senators are not that way either. And we've got to figure out, how are we going to fix this? Or are we just going to go on a slow slope or a fast decline to socialism? And I think we need to be having these kind of conversations.
I mean, not for a conversation, but your solution's insane. You want to go back to a state legislature electing
Why
a
is
U.S.
it insane?
It's
Our
insane
country
because then
did
you've
this
got-
over
let's take any
100
state.
years.
That's why we got rid of it, because it didn't make any sense.
No, we got rid of it because we had a progressive president who wanted to weaken the Senate.
You want to take the direct vote out of people's hands and give it to state house members. Can you imagine every deal that's cut if somebody's like wants to get re-elected in the Senate, in the U.S. Senate, and they got, let's say, 100 legislators in the House and Senate? I mean, and they got 48 votes. The deals are going to have with everybody.
Are you kidding me? We've got all those kind of things happening in back rooms right now, with money flowing around from lobbyists that we can't hold accountable.
Well, you're going to get the same lobbyist money in the State House. It's not going to stop the lobbyist money.
If it happens in the State House, at least we have the mechanism to remove the state legislators from office.
All that's going to do is then, if you're a senator and you've got people that are going to vote against you, the next time you're going to raise the same money from the same lobbyist to knock those state representatives out, which is easier to do because they don't represent that many people. You can spend $100,000 knocking $100 million knocking 5 of them out.
Perhaps you can.
That's insane.
Perhaps you can, John.
Perhaps
you can, which is why I'm saying we need to have a discussion about it. I'm telling you right now, we're looking at Band-Aids. We're not looking at root causes of the problem. That is the point that I'm saying. My solution may not be the right solution. All that I'm saying is we need to have more serious discussions in this country, because we're looking at Band-Aids and we are not trying to fix the real problems in this country. And I think that President Trump absolutely is trying to fix the real problems, but the United States Senate is not trying to fix the problems. Leader Thune would be just as happy no matter what he does. He's not even a leader. He's just not even a leader.
On that we can agree with.
Absolutely.
He's not a leader. And look, I think the answer is getting rid of this filibuster, because right now they're all hiding behind mommy's apron. That's what they're hiding behind her dress. They don't want to vote. Like Blackburn today, she's just being candid. We don't even have the votes to bring this to the floor because they don't want to vote on it.
They have the votes to bring it to the floor because they already brought it to the floor. It
never got
has
voted
been on
on
the floor.
It never got voted on.
No, they didn't have the votes to close the debate. They brought it to the floor. They don't have the votes to close the debate because of the filibuster. But they also don't have the votes to close the debate because they're using the zombie filibuster rather than an actual talking filibuster. If they were using the talking filibuster, then we would be in a different situation. But they're not. So
Well,
attach it to other legislation.
We
Attach
agree.
it to other legislation.
We agree on that. On that, we can agree that John Thune's a disaster. Couldn't lead his way out of a paper bag. We agree that the filibuster has got to go. The zombie filibuster is a joke. And we agree that this stuff should be, well, a vote on the SAVE Act should have been taken. I don't care if we get 45 votes. I don't care if we get 40 votes. I want to know the 10 senators voted no on our side, or 6 or 4 or 3. I want to know who they are. And it's all now.
I think if they had a vote on the House BAT version, we'd have 50 votes, at least.
That's what I'm saying. Go bring it to the floor and have a vote. But look, I appreciate your boldness in trying to think outside the box. I'm not enthusiastic about your first.
I'm just saying a conversation, John. Just a
I love that.
conversation.
Well, we had a good conversation. We don't agree. Still a conversation.
Well, I'm not saying that I'm even right. I'm just saying we need to be thinking outside the box. I
It's
think we can agree on
always
that.
good to have a good conversation. And as I often say to my lovely wife, Ann, who you know what? We can agree to disagree and still love each other. It's all good. Jenny Beth, thanks for being with us. And I love you too. And we'll see each other soon. People want to follow you, Jenny Beth. Where do they go?
Well, I love you too, John. And they can go to Jenny Beth M on social media and teapartypatriots.org.
All right. We'll see you then. Texas Truth Line coming up at 9 o'clock. Keep it right here.
Individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund. Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
He's your Godzilla of the truth in America.
It's Godzilla!
No gibberish or nonsense, just common sense. And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Well, we're back. Interesting argument by Jenny Beth. I don't agree with it, but it's an interesting argument. I mean, I'm never for taking votes out of the hands of people to determine your destiny. Last thing I would want to do is turn U.S. senators over to a state Senate, a state House and Senate. It's the last thing I'd want to do, but it's an interesting thought, and I appreciate her passion for doing it. I'm more focused on the reality of what needs to get done. You're not going to get rid of the federal income tax. You're not going to change the way you elect senator. None of this is going to happen. And so it's interesting fodder. But quite frankly, folks, I'm very focused on what's at hand in November. I want to keep the House. I want to keep the Senate. There'll be a new makeup in the Senate. Senators should be running on getting rid of the filibuster, so they're held accountable for that. And that's what we should be focused on. And I guess I'm a little more optimistic than Jenny Beth, and I'll tell you why. I'm more optimistic because I believe we're going to keep the House. In 28, we're going to gain another 5 seats because of the illegal congressional districts that were gerrymandered for race. We're going to gain another 5. In the 2030 census, we're going to gain another 10. That's another 15 beyond what we've already gained. And maybe it's 15 and then 20, but we're going to gain a number of seats. And so this structure is going to be such that we're going to have a MAGA Republican House of Representatives in perpetuity in our lifetime. This is not going away. That's what we're going to have. And so, talk about, electing senators through state legislatures. I mean, come on. It's like, I want people to vote just like we voted in Texas. And her argument was, well, it took $100 million. Well, okay. So what? It took $100 million. So what? We got Cornyn out. We put Paxton in. Paxton is going to win. And what they're suggesting is we take those votes away from the people. There'd be no Paxton. He certainly wouldn't ever get to be U.S. Senator in the Texas state legislature. Ever. You'd get Cornyn. So I just don't see the argument. But look, it's interesting. And, we can agree to disagree. And that's kind of where we are with that. But look, I love the passion. And I love the fact that she's going out to these different states. I do that as well. You got to go out and talk to the people. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Well, it is the Chairman's Corner. We love when we have the Chairman's Corner. That is every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., 8:35 actually. And joining us now on Chairman's Corner is Nicole Buss-Harris. She is the chairwoman of the Maryland GOP. Chairwoman. She is the chair of Maryland. And Nicole, thanks for being with us today.
Hello, how are you?
Great, Nicole. Thanks for being on Chairman's Corner, the great state of Maryland, where my son plays baseball for the Maryland Terrapins. So go Terps, fear the turtle. Even though we had a tough season, we're going to be back with a vengeance. And so we're kind of excited about that. So I live in Washington, D.C. We get to go to College Park on the Metro, right? Really easy. The Green Line, boom, we're there. Takes about a half hour. We're right in College Park, ready to go. So that's the good news. Chairwoman, let's get to the overall status of the Republican Party in Maryland. Where are we? How do we move forward? How are you doing things to build the party in Maryland to make a difference? Chairwoman Harris.
Yes, so we've been doing a lot of different things over the last few years. In 2024, we actually moved to the right. 23 of the 24 jurisdictions moved to the right in their voting. Now, we didn't vote for President Trump, unfortunately. Our electoral votes did not go to President Trump, but at the same time, we saw a lot of progress with 23 moving towards the right. We're, aiming for that again in 2026. More conservative voters coming out, getting engaged, and seeing that we actually need some changes in the state. I think Governor Moore has done a great thing in the fact that he has gotten people energized. People are upset with the direction of the state, and they're getting engaged. Plus, we're reaching out to more. Different types of voters. We had an event last night where we talked about the Second Amendment with people who are primarily focused on protecting the Second Amendment, which are a group of voters who don't normally vote or don't vote at as high of a rate as others. So we're doing all kinds of things to make sure that we bring in people who haven't voted before or vote very infrequently.
Chairwoman Harris, give our listeners nationally a sense of the average percent that a Republican gets the vote in the state of Maryland.
Well, obviously, that depends upon the district boundaries, but if you just look at the numbers specifically, Republicans in Maryland only make up 24%. So 24%, not a big deal. But when you add in those unaffiliated or even those Democrats who are soft Democrats that vote more conservatively, we can get anywhere from 30 to 40%, even 45% of the vote statewide when we talk about the unaffiliated voters.
And remember, it was only a couple cycles ago where you had a Republican governor that got reelected in a landslide.
Oh, exactly. So that shows that Marylanders, when you talk about the issues that they really care about, and when you engage those soft Democrats, the soft Democrats have been left behind by the Democrat Party these days, and the unaffiliated. You see that Maryland is more conservative than a lot of people, realize. It's just, do we do a good job in communicating the issues that matter to them?
You're on the John Fredericks Media Network. We're live in Morgantown, West Virginia today, not in Washington, D.C. I'll be back there tomorrow, where this is RNC Chairman's Corner. We're with the chairwoman of the Maryland Republican National Committee of the party in Maryland, and that is Nicole Harris. Nicole, thanks again for being with us on Chairman's Corner. We've got one Republican seat in the House, and that happens to be your husband, Andy Harris, also chairman of the Freedom Caucus. So it's all in the family. But Wes Moore vowing to try to gerrymander that seat out so it's completely blue. The Democrat State Center has fought him on that. Give us insight into where that argument is now.
Well, that argument is going to be coming back up this month. Senate President Bill Ferguson was able to put it off through the entire session, said, I'm not going to redistrict. We're not going to do this. And I think that he was trying to save the Democrat Party from themselves, because had they decided to redistrict during the regular session, it would have gone to court. And not only would that map have gone to court, but we would have been able to challenge the map that we're currently under, which had not been challenged in court previously. So the situation now is that they're going to call a special session sometime this month, probably towards the end of the month, to be able to put it as a referendum on the November ballot to let the Maryland residents, Maryland voters decide whether or not we should be able to redistrict on a whim, every single 2 years if we wanted, rather than waiting for the census every 10 years. So that's what we're expecting to go forward, is that it'll be put on the referendum, it'll be voted on in November. And then, if we don't do our job properly in communicating what that actually will mean for Maryland voters, then we will be looking at a new map for 2028.
So they can't do anything for 26, right? That window is closed. But this referendum that you anticipate the General Assembly passing, which would get on the ballot in November, is that going to be for a specific map, or is that going to be for the ability for them to change the map?
I expect that it'll be for the ability to change the map whenever they want, which is actually more dangerous.
All right, Nicole Harris. Uh, let's get to another topic here that's affecting Maryland, all of us, especially when you live in Washington D.C. The squalor and decrepitness of the city of Baltimore is stunning. It's absolutely shocking to me living in DC and seeing what President Trump has done in 18 months, basically taking a disastrous urban decaying center ridden with crime and carjackings and gangs. And you couldn't take the metro. You couldn't do anything. I wouldn't let my wife go outside after 5 o'clock. No way. He's turned it into Disneyland of the Northeast in 18 months. But you look at your city of Baltimore, you can't walk down the street. I mean, the last time I drove to Pimlico before it went under reconstruction, right, the racetrack there, I'm a racetrack fan. I decided to drive there with Ann and my family in the car. And so I took the back road, to get to Pimlico through downtown. I mean, I rolled the windows up. You can't have a firearm in DC, so I have no in the car. I rolled the windows up, locked the doors. I mean, I'm driving down these streets. There's gangs. Every window is boarded up. It's disgusting. There's homeless all over the place. Broken glass. I was driving downtown Beirut, Lebanon after a bombing. What the hell is going on in the city of Baltimore, Nicole?
It's really sad. I have a special place in my heart for Baltimore. Look, I'm a small rural girl overall, small town, but I lived in Baltimore 26 years ago, and I really enjoyed my time there. I worked downtown. I lived in Fells Point. I walked, to and from work. People thought I was crazy then. There's no way I would do it today. I absolutely could not walk back and forth, especially after dark, which is often what I did. Um, it's sad because I know so many people who still live in Baltimore City. They love the city. They love, what the potential is for the city. We have got to restore the rule of law. We have got to support the Baltimore City Police Department, and that means that there needs to be some changes made there as well. We need to get more officers. We need to restore the rules and regulations within the Baltimore City Police Department, in addition to everything else. The fact is that people just don't respect the Baltimore City Police Department. They don't respect MSP. It doesn't matter what law enforcement agency goes into the city right now. The way that people are who are causing the problems in Baltimore City, they don't respect the rule of law whatsoever, nor those who are going to uphold it. So we need a drastic shift. We need a shift in the schooling. We need more parental control and involvement in children's lives. We need more job opportunities. We need the students to actually be graduating who can where they can read and write. There are so many problems from birth through adulthood, which are leading to the problems that we have on the streets. So it has to be a generational shift. It's going to take a while, but I do believe that some of the things that President Trump did with DC, let's do it with Baltimore City. That's where we need to come in and do it.
And you have a level of corruption there. Talk to us a little bit about what has gone down in the mayor's office now, which has made national news. Nicole Harris.
Well, I mean, let's face it. The mayor's office has. I don't even know what to say because we can talk about the current mayor, but this has been a problem systemically. How many mayors have we had in Baltimore City that have had corruption charges, have been taken out because of corruption charges, have lost elections because of corruption allegations? This is ridiculous. It has to be cleaned up. It literally needs to be cleaned up. And there are people in Baltimore City residents who realize this and are saying that we have to do this. We have to pull these people out. We have to stop electing them. We have to, make sure that we get good, honest people. But here's the problem. So many people, and this happens at all levels of government, so many people we will elect somebody new and they'll be good, but they don't know how the system works. They don't know how to get a bill passed. They don't know how to make a suggestion to the council or to their fellow congressmen, whatever level of government it is. What happens is that the bureaucracy, the unelected, unaccountable bureaucracy takes over because they tell the new mayor or the new congressman or the new state senator, they tell them, you do this, you get this, you work the system this way. But the problem is those people have no accountability whatsoever. So we can elect new mayors, but will the problem still continue because the bureaucracy, the unelected, unaccountable bureaucracy is actually running things? President Trump talks about a deep state. There's a deep state in every level of government, unfortunately, because we can have bad actors who have no accountability to we the people.
Nicole, you just nailed it. It's so sad. Nicole Harris with us. This is RNC Chairman's Corner. She is the Republican chairwoman of Maryland and for the GOP. So thanks for being with us on Chairman's Corner, Nicole. But you nailed it. And for those of us that have spent time in Baltimore, you used the word sad. It is really sad to go down there. Now, I used to work at the Baltimore Sun right downtown. I remember going before Camden Yards to the old Memorial Stadium many years ago, and then to Camden Yards. And it was just, you'd go to Baltimore, you'd get the crab cakes. It was just, now you can't go 2 blocks without taking your life in your hands. And then the garbage and the graffiti and the broken windows and just the squalor and the drugs that's getting dealt right in the middle of the street. It's so sad, and it doesn't have to be this way, Nicole. President Trump proved this. We're choosing to live that. You don't have to live in filth and squalor and drugs and, people defecating on the sidewalk. You don't have to live that way, but you are, and it's sad.
Well, what's unfortunate is that people are so busy taking care of their own lives. They're so busy trying to provide food, to provide a roof over their children's head, that, they don't have time to get involved in the day-to-day politics that you and I both discuss and work in. So, it's our job to make sure that they understand what's at stake and that their simple vote, getting involved to vote and be an informed voter takes very little time so that they can still do everything they need to do for their family, but they can change it in the long term by getting new people involved, by getting new staff. Because if we do bring a new mayor in, some of that bureaucracy is going to change. It's going to be a job and it's not going to happen overnight, but it will start changing. But we have to make sure that we're talking to people to get them to understand the importance of their vote. And too many people in Baltimore City don't vote.
Well, you got to get them out to vote. You got to take it right to them. We need somebody like, I'm running for Ward 2 chairman in Washington, D.C. I'm on the June 16th primary. You're out there talking to people every day, and it's amazing if you just present your message in a coherent manner to Democrats that live in this city. They don't want to live under the conditions that the Democrats have provided them with. They want the change. You just got to go and talk to them. And I think people are starting to figure that out. Okay, I want to get to Western Maryland, beautiful country, by the way. Some of the most, you drive through the mountains to get to, from D.C. to get to Morgantown, where I am now. I get to go through on 68 through Cumberland, go through the mountains, gorgeous. But we got a state senator in West Virginia, where I own a bunch of radio stations, Chris Rose, who wants to annex counties in Western Maryland into West Virginia, and he's got traction with some of the county leaders. What is your position on that?
Can they take the Eastern Shore as well? No, let's, I mean, this concept isn't new. It comes around almost every cycle, honestly. The Western Maryland, beautiful part of the state. I was just out there a couple of weeks ago, a couple different times. Absolutely love the area. They vote red. They vote conservative. They don't vote, with Baltimore City. They don't vote with Annapolis. They don't vote with Prince George's County or Montgomery County. The problem is that they are actually grouped in with Montgomery County, and Montgomery County outvotes them when it comes to their congressional district. 14 years ago, we lost Roscoe Bartlett, who was, a Republican that represented the 6th district, and then they drew the 6th district down into Montgomery County, and then they kept it drawn down into Montgomery County with this last go around of gerrymandering with the new census a few years ago. Look, it does have traction. People have talked about it and everything. It would completely change the shape of Maryland. It would change us from being, America in miniature, because we lose the mountains and everything. But they honestly, politically speaking, they have more in common with West Virginia than they do with the rest of Maryland. And it's hard when you feel that you are not represented, because I live on the Eastern Shore. Uh, okay, we have my husband as the congressman, and we do have representatives. We have state senators and state delegates who are Republican, like Western Maryland does. But when they go to Annapolis, they're outvoted. They're severely outvoted. So I understand that desire to be in a state that would actually recognize you, and you would feel that your opinion matters.
We'd love to have you here in West Virginia.
So,
We'd
well,
love to
look,
have you.
my family actually has a homestead from the late 1700s up there in West Virginia. So I have ties to all of this area from 1600s and before.
Well, I think that might be on the horizon. There's also movement underfoot to get my home, Washington D.C., to take, I think, Arlington or one of the Northern Virginia counties. We don't want it. Let them stay in Virginia. We don't want anything to do with that. You can keep that. But when I'm in West Virginia, yeah, we would love to have Western Maryland. That's such a beautiful area. Okay, I had Chairman Joe Gruters on a couple weeks ago. He still believes we're going to have this midterm summer convention. Is that on the horizon? Is this thing real? What do you think, Nicole?
I think that Chairman Gruters has a better idea of if it's real than I do. I keep hearing the rumors. I think everybody keeps hearing the rumors. I've heard, some potential time periods for it, and I'm not going to say that out loud because I'm not supposed to. So I think that it would be a great thing to be able to get Republicans excited, to get give them a mission for September, for October, carrying us through the election. I think it would be great to energize the base, if it's televised, so that people who aren't there will be able to see it, will be able to understand our message and what we plan on doing with the 120th Congress, what we plan on doing with cleaning up our cities around the United States. I think that it could be a really good thing. I'm a little worried about the timing, honestly. It's getting late, and can we pull it off and do a spectacular job like we do with the presidential convention every 4 years? So I'm kind of on the fence right now.
The answer to your dilemma is have it in Vegas, not Dallas. Like, who wants to go to Dallas in the summer? You have it in Vegas, that place. Everybody will go, including me and Ann. Let's go to Vegas. Let's have
I'm
it
not
there.
sure that Vegas is any better here. Is Vegas really any better in the summer?
No, but you have the casino air conditioning inside, so that's where we'll all be. But no, you're right about that. Nicole Harris, thank you. Really, really appreciate your time and what you're doing. And the fact that they're trying to gerrymander your husband, Andy Harris, chairman of the Freedom Caucus, trying to gerrymander him out. Unbelievable. But this is what the Democrats have done up there forever. This is why we have to react to it in these other southern states. But great to have you with us. Sorry the Orioles can't win a game. I don't know what that This is wrong with the Orioles. Something's wrong. They got Alonso. Something's wrong. Maybe it's ownership. I don't know what it is, but they just can't win. Terrible situation. I still think of them as a contender, but they're just playing awful. On paper, they're great. They just don't win. I don't know what's going on, but that's for another day.
Be early, but let's just put it this way. If the Orioles can't win, if the referendum ends up coming to fruition and passes in November, what's going to happen is that the Republicans will not win. It's not about gerrymandering my husband out of his seat, because it's not his seat. It's the seat that belongs to the people. But if they gerrymander the rest of the map because they get this referendum, we're going to be facing things like Massachusetts with no Republican representation. And for how many years, we don't know. So, help us stop that in November.
Got to get out and vote and understand how bad that referendum is. Nicole Harris, I want to give a shout out to your executive director, Ashley. She's been great to work with, and great hire, great lady, fantastic. Gets back to me instantaneously, calls me back. Actually, when I can get, I don't know how old she is, but if I get Zoomers to return a phone call, I'm so excited. It's like, talk on the phone. Your job will be better. Your life will be better. Your career will go better. I get the text thing, but when she returns calls. She actually calls you up or she answers the phone. It's a beautiful thing.
She's fantastic. She's the best. She's absolutely the absolute best.
So one thing Obama taught me, he said, I got a phone and a pen. It's like, okay, well, I got 3 phones and 3 pens. So I'm in really good shape. Nicole, thanks for being with us. People want to follow you and Maryland GOP. Where do they go?
It's MDGOP on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Nicole Buse Harris on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Thank you. We're 7 minutes over our time. I got everybody mad at me. I overrun news, but I don't care. I had a good time. Thanks for being with me. All work and no play makes John a dull boy. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you very much.
Maybe I'll see you at the convention in Dallas or maybe Vegas. We'll have to see. Nicole, thanks for being with us. Texas Truth Line. Well, they got a lot to talk about. They're next.
Detention deal with Albania. I'm Charles Dilladesma.
Archaeologists are digging beneath Notre Dame Cathedral, exploring as far back as Roman Paris from some 2,000 years ago. It's uncovered hundreds of objects, including a 4th century coin and a medieval jug. News and analysis at townhall.com. There are fewer people living on American streets.
A federal report shows a decrease in homelessness in California and nationwide last year, marking the first drop since 2016. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's annual homelessness report shows a 2.8% decrease in California and a 3.3% decrease nationwide. The Trump administration used the report to promote its policies, including its crackdown on immigration. Activists attribute the decline to funding under former President Joe Biden. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
5 American cruise ship passengers exposed to hantavirus are leaving a Nebraska quarantine facility. U.S. health officials say they'll complete monitoring at home after remaining symptom-free. They arrived in Nebraska 3 weeks ago following a deadly hantavirus outbreak on a South Atlantic cruise. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
This meeting with China and President Trump, the stakes couldn't be higher.
Listen, China's not our friend. They've been stealing our technology. They've been stealing the AI, responsible for the COVID. We have to be very, very careful about giving stuff to China.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
It's the top news of the day.
China wants the oil from Iran.
They want to make a deal that's good for them and not piss us off too much.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Live from the NCAA baseball tournament in Morgantown, West Virginia, this is a special edition of the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who tells his players to just keep swinging, John Fredericks.
Well, it's great to have you with us. Texas Truth Line is next. What a day they had last Tuesday. Primaries coming up today, mainly California, Iowa. Those are the big ones. So all coming up right here on the John Fredericks Media Network. We're going to Dallas. We're going to Houston. We're going to San Antonio. Astros playing tonight against Pittsburgh. Sorry, Bucco fans, you're going down. Astros going to sweep this series and get back on their winning track. Hey, guess who's coming back? Josh Hader. Hello, we got our closer back. Guess who else is coming back? Hunter Brown, our ace. He's going to be next week. Guess who else is coming back? Altuve, Hall of Famer. So you all had your fun, beating up on us. Now we're getting all our players back. But we're not here to talk about that either. But we are here to talk about Patriot Mobile, who's sponsoring the Texas Truth Line, and our good friend Glenn Story. Now, I'm in West Virginia in Morgantown. I got to run the whole company. I got 23 radio stations, about to buy another one, right? And another one in Nashville area. So we're looking at, I got to run the company. How do I do it? Off my 3 phones here. 1, think I'm kidding, 2, 3. 3 phones. Why do I have 3 phones? Because Obama said I have a phone and a pen. So I'm like, I'm going to get 3 phones and 3 pens so I can be 3X Obama. That's why. All of them powered by, guess who? Patriot Mobile. Why? Rates are better, services better, and I get a BOGO. I get 2 carriers for the price of 1, which means I get AT&T and Verizon. So right now I'm in West Virginia, AT&T rules, right? But when I go to Maryland, I got to go to Verizon. Then I get in the district, and then and then Verizon, not so much. Then it switched back to AT&T. So I got coverage no matter where I go. This is the beauty of this. Now you say, well, I got to pay for activation. Nope. Promo code Godzilla BOGO. Promo code Godzilla, free activation. All done on the cloud. There's not a SIM card. There's not tweezers. You don't have to put, number 3.0 eyeglasses on that you got at Walmart. None of that. All I got to do is pick up the phone and call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. Somebody in Dallas will answer because they speak English, and they'll talk you through the whole thing and set you up to save money and get better coverage. Now, if you want to go online, you can do that too. Go to patriotmobile.com, patriotmobile.com, and you can set up everything there. Don't forget, promo code Godzilla gets you all the freebies, gets you the better rate, gets you free activation. Promo code Godzilla. Big shout out to their visionary CEO, Glenn Story. And by the way, a portion of their profit goes to supporting Christian conservative values and issues. So we thank Glenn Story for that and his great company, Patriot Mobile. Go to patriotmobile.com, promo code Godzilla. Let's get to the Texas Truth Line. Let's bring everybody in. Joining us now, we've got former Texas State Chairman and now GOP strategist and publisher of a magazine, which they won't send me. So I'm not a subscriber. They won't let me subscribe. I don't get it. One day I'll get his magazine. I'll make his mag list, right? One day I'll arrive in the world and get his magazine. That's Matt Rinaldi. Also with us is Paul George. Paul's got a San Antonio Spurs hat on. I hope you beat the Knicks. Nobody likes the Knicks. I hope you win. We don't like your head basketball coach either. Total libtard, whatever. And also joining us is AJ Louderback. AJ, State Representative, Texas District. Do I have this right? 80? AJ, is that right? District 80? Somewhere.
District 30.
30. Okay, well, I didn't put my glasses on, right? District 30. Okay, let's get right to former chairman, Matt Rinaldi. So, Matt, you were so wrong about the Paxton race. I mean, you were so off because you got on a week ago and you said right here on air when polls were showing Paxton up by 2 or 3, and Las Vegas still saying it was a horse race. And we had Paul James talking to us about some county that the Corden was going to win or something I never heard of. And then you said it was going to win by 15, and mine, you were off by 20. You were off by 12 points. It wasn't even close. He won by 20.
Okay, I said 15 before Trump endorsed. So I'm still going to go with I was right. So
I'm making fun of you, but 15, he wins by 27. I had Paul here telling me Corden was going to win. Dude, you got beat by 30 points. You're out of the political prognostication business. Do not go on one of those predicted sites. You will lose your paycheck. Never go on those. Delete those from your account, Paul. You're banned from that. If you want to bet the Spurs, I get it, because you can't bet in Texas because you don't have online gaming there. So whatever. But let's get back to Matt. Matt, what a stunning victory.
Yeah, it was a big night for conservatives in Texas. I mean, statewide, conservatives swept up and down the ballot. The AG's race had 2 good conservatives. Mays Middleton won. Ken Paxton, of course, most high-profile race. Beau French narrowly edged out Jim Wright for railroad commissioner, which was really important. That's an oil and gas regulatory agency, and the guy who he beat it's a 3-person agency with a 2-to-1 split. Which now, because of that win, the non-green energy people have control of that board responsible for Texas oil. So big night overall for conservatives up and down the ballot.
So tell us about the Paxton win, the 30-point win. It was really unbelievable. I mean, he won everything. and there was a pretty big turnout. What does that say? Does this signal a clear shift, Matt Rinaldi, in the Texas Republican Party? Because you got a lot of rhinos, not AJ. You got a lot of rhinos in the state house. You made that deal with the Democrats in order to get the phony speaker. Does this signal a shift?
That shift already came, and it was very pronounced the year Representative Louderback got elected. No, this shift's been happening for the last 12 years. Happened slowly. I think last election it became clear. The conservatives control Texas. The conservative grassroots control Texas. So we saw that again this month.
Let's get to AJ, Representative Louderback, District 30, Texas State House. Thanks for being with us. This Paxton victory, and then the Beau French victory. A lot of people thought he was way too conservative, way too extreme. He had a lot of different positions on that powerful commission. He was able to win that. What does this say about your party going forward, AJ?
Well, it's fantastic. This is a huge victory on so many fronts. We've got General Paxton taking the Senate. We've got Bates Middleton going E, which is important for Texas and criminal justice. Beau French, I endorse each of
AJ,
these.
we're not getting your audio. It's crackling. You probably want to, if you would, we're just going to have you call in by phone so we can get a cleaner audio. And if you have a pen handy, just write this number down. You can just get off the video and just call in so we can get your feed. Just call 888-480-5646, AJ, 888-480-5646, and we'll get you back in by phone. We don't want to miss what you're saying, so we do want to get your clear audio. Paul James, Spurs hat, nice. Hope you guys win. Can't stand the Knicks. Give us a little take on, from your perspective, what happened Tuesday night, Paul James.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Mr. Rinaldi. Thank you again for having me. You cannot underestimate the power of the Trump endorsement. Paxton did have a lot of positive energy, especially with your help, Godzilla Street. And we can't doubt what the voters said. The voters spoke loudly. So we support the nominees and looking forward to supporting them. I would say a lot of things that they blamed Cornyn for in the near recency, that really was an indictment against John Thune and his leadership, and they used him as a press release valve, and they used him quite effectively. So hopefully that moves the state back. Hopefully that gets a lot of other things moving. I'd like to see how John Thune really responds to that with moving legislation and getting off the nominees. But yes, the voters spoke loudly, and we support what the voters say because they know and they speak from their experience on things.
Listen, Paul, we're not getting clean audio from you either, so now we're down two. You're going to have to get off screen, and they either come back in or call in. So that basically, until we get this audio fixed, leaves me and Matt. So it's kind of the John and Matt show. Matt, a lot of people now wringing their hands over Texas and saying that, the Texas Senate is in play. We get a fake poll that comes out, shows Taralico up by 3. Everybody's panicking. You're going to lose. Texas is going to turn blue, blah, blah, blah. What is your reaction to that?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I don't think anyone really thinks it is. When you look at the betting markets, even now with that whole news blitz, it's about 2-1 Paxton, as far as odds go of winning the race. So Texas, again, just to recap, no Democrat has won a statewide race in Texas in 32 years, since 1994. So you've had about 200 races that Republicans have won compared to 0 for Democrats. That's come even in 2018 when Republicans got slaughtered. Ted Cruz was about 2 points away from Beto O'Rourke in 2018. through all of that, now they're saying James Talrico is going to beat Ken Paxton. I don't think it's going to happen. They say this every year. I've been hearing this since 2002, when the dream team of Tony Sanchez and Ron Kirk were supposed to take the Senate and the governorship. We hear this constantly with Wendy Davis, who was supposed to win. It never happens, and it's not going to happen now.
Those are blasts from the past. I remember the Wendy Davis, whatever you want to call it, the boomlet or whatever, and the national media in D.C. just going gaga over that lady. I forget what her claim to fame was. I don't remember. But like, she was going to be the one that was finally going to win Texas. She was the new, younger version of Ann Richards, and she got killed in the election. So it's like ridiculous. You're right.
I have good friends in the national media, and talking about how Cornyn needs to win, or Cornyn's got to win. And I kept telling him for weeks, Cornyn is the most hated politician in Texas, and he's not winning the race. Nobody knows Texas who isn't in Texas, I don't think, and the national media is no exception. Ken Paxton's winning that race.
I don't think it's going to be close either. Let's get, we got AJ back on, AJ's back by phone. AJ Louderback, Representative District 30. AJ, you were part of this conservative MAGA movement, kind of the backlash out of the House when, the House of Representatives in Texas basically went and collaborated with the Democrats and elected a speaker, a rhino speaker, with the Democrat votes. You were one of the people where they paid for that by winning your seat. What are you going to do in the State House now?
Well, I think we're in great shape right now. I think just coming off this last election, which I endorsed all three of the gentlemen, General Paxton, Senator Middleton, and Beau French. So I think we're on the right track right now. I see a lot of positive what's going on. I actually see a lot of positive, from our Speaker, Dustin Burrows, who is leading the House in a very positive fashion. And, I don't have anything but good to say about what's going on and what I'm seeing right now, and what I'm seeing from what I'm hearing from my other colleagues in the House as we try to as we move the House to the right and with great policy that's forthcoming. We had a great session this last session.
AJ, can you do that with the same speaker that collaborated with the Democrats in order to get the Speaker's gavel?
Well, I think you just have a necessity. You have a time in Texas where you thought that was a necessity. I didn't vote for him, but at the point, we've reconciled our differences, and I think that he will take the gavel again in this election. I believe he is shown to be conservative in so many ways. I think that the facts are in about it. And in the Texas House, it's a matter of numbers. And it's always been a point of contention through my years of being at the Capitol and working legislation. This has always been an issue. But right now, I feel pretty comfortable about where we're at in our conservative values. And if it changes, well, then I think you'll see the Republican caucus come to do battle again.
Matt Renaud, do you agree with the assessment of your speaker by AJ? Matt, you there? We lose Matt? Matt lost audio, or did I lose audio, or somebody lost audio? Paul, are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me better now?
Okay, yeah, we get Matt back.
I'll say I completely agree with AJ. The new speaker was elected with Democrat support. Since then, has been a marked improvement from the previous.
We lost Matt. Paul James, get in here. Do you agree with what AJ said, that you got a speaker that was a rhino that got elected basically with Democrat support, not with conservative support. But does he see the hand running on the wall now, and he wants to stay a speaker? He's got to move to the right.
Well, I'd never agreed with a lot of the argument against him. I think the thing for Republicans is we fight really tough in primaries and nomination portions, but we all kind of move together at some point. And I think he did that with a very challenging session, pushing a lot of really important legislation. The monumental one being we did establish a school choice program here in Texas, and it's proving to be one of the biggest ones. There's tons of interest in it right now. I expect state rep and the Senate to expand that program probably tenfold because of the amount of people that have signed their kids up to be part of it. And the governor is also leaning on him very strong too in passing his property tax agenda. So in Texas, Abbott is king, and we want to make sure that that agenda gets passed because that's going to have probably the biggest impact for all Texans and all future Texans as they move here.
Let's get to I want to get to cut 16 here, Dan. Kind of the assessment on the Taralico campaign. This is going to be the Democrat that's going up against Ted Paxton. That already, I got just when I got out of D.C. on Thursday. You understand how it is to be here. Matt knows this a little bit, Paul, but I think we lost his feed. You get in the bubble. You get with the D.C. national media, like you guys said, they don't know Texas, but immediately it starts, just like Matt said. I mean, Paxton won Tuesday. I get to the briefing room on Wednesday. It's just everywhere you go. Oh my God, Democrats are going to win Texas. Paxton's a disaster. Taralico was like one of the greatest candidates that Texas has ever had. He's a pastor. He's a man of God, this and that. And so that's what all the national media is saying. And then, you drive out of town, you drive to West Virginia, you get out of D.C., and it's like, Taralico's nuts. Let's go to 16 and get a little taste here.
I do want to ask you about what's happening in Texas. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says that Democrats have now a chance to lock down a Senate seat in Texas after State Attorney General Ken Paxton's recent victory. Maria spoke with Paxton on Sunday about gaining GOP Senate support. Watch this.
How are you going to get the support that you need from Senate leadership in the Republican Party so that they can help you, in fact, defeat the Democrat in November?
Look, I'm very optimistic about getting their support. I've already been in contact with Senator Thune, Senator Barrasso, Senator Cotton, Senator Scott from South Carolina. So I think they've all pledged their support along with other U.S. Republican senators. And I'm going to meet with several of them this week. And I think they understand how important Texas is, not just because of the majority, but also because we are Texas. We haven't lost a statewide race since 1994, and this isn't the time to do it. We need to unite, and we need to fight together.
Congressman, what do you make of this rhetoric coming from the Democrats that they can flip this seat?
Two words, wishful thinking. I've known Ken Paxton for 20 years. I've also served not only with Ken in the Texas legislature, but also James Talarico. And he is a hard, far lefty. He's completely out of touch with Texas. Some of these polls are taken before any real money has been spent exposing who James Talarico is to Texas. Once we do that over the next several months, I think you'll see Ken win. It'll be another GOP sweep. You know why, Cheryl, at the end of the day? Because people vote with their feet. And Texas, people are coming to Texas because we have limited taxes, low taxes, limited government, reasonable regulation. We're growing. It's the Texas miracle. It's going to continue. And it's under GOP leadership, not Democratic leadership.
Okay. It's going to be one of the big races to watch come November. Congressman Pat Fallon, thank you for being here. Appreciate it, sir.
Thanks, Cheryl. God bless.
All right. Thank you.
I mean, how does he square this cat Taralico? How does he square some of the crazy statements, Paul James, he's made about, 6 genders and God is non-binary, and he's hung his hat on men playing in women's athletic in Texas. He doesn't want to eat meat. He wants to ban steak. I mean, how do you guys reconcile any of this? How does this guy win?
So here's the thing. I don't think he wins. I don't think he's even close. But you asked me not to be in the political speculation business, so I'm going to take a step back from that, and I'll talk about some specifics. Personally, I think Colin Allred was a much better candidate. They should have ran him, and if he could have came around to say, "Hey, I don't believe boys should be in girls' sports," I think that would have been a really good jockey to the middle for their side. But they didn't. They went with Loti Tallarico, who is damaged goods. He's a voice for the radical left and the globalist elite who do not believe Texas should be free, who do not believe we should have steak and lobster to eat. And he represents all that is Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer out of New York and the coastal elites. He's bad for Texas and bad for America. He's not going anywhere.
All right, quick word from our sponsors. The Texas Truth Line will be back. We got AJ Lauterbach, we've got former chairman Matt Rinaldi, and we've got Paul James Jr., precinct chair and San Antonio Spurs fan. All coming up next on the Texas Truth Line. Keep it right here.
Into his apostles and filled them with the Holy Spirit at the first Pentecost. Oxygen is a source of life both physically and spiritually. It's the same with fire. Oxygen is needed in order to keep a fire burning, which begs the question, are you on fire for the Lord, or has your spiritual oxygen been extinguished? To answer this, we must go to the source. The source of our spiritual oxygen is the Lord himself. Without him, there is no life within us. Those are his words, not mine. We are called to tap into this life source by baptism, daily prayer, and receiving the sacraments, especially Holy Communion if you are a Catholic, in the state of grace. If we tap into this life source every day, our lives will be filled with the love of the Lord, our spiritual oxygen. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
All right, folks, I need you to do something right now. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and take our brand new 2028 Republican presidential straw poll. Who do you want leading the ticket? Don't let the elites decide. Make your voice heard. While you're there, weigh in on two huge issues: eminent domain reform and President Trump's tariff policies. Are they protecting American workers or hurting growth? This is your movement, your vote, your voice, your choice. Go to johnfredericksradio.com right now and take the poll.
Folks, this is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Soul Tea. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many, many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Soul Tea for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Soul Tea. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
If you want to go after an athlete, one of my athletes, you go after one that doesn't do the right things. You don't downgrade him because he does everything right and may not play as well on Saturday, and you let us make that decision. That's why I don't read the newspaper, because it's garbage, and the editor that let it come out is garbage. Attacking an amateur athlete for doing everything right. And then you want to write articles about guys that don't do things right and downgrade them, the ones that do make plays. Are you kidding me? Where are we at in society today? Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
He's the voice of Virginia.
No, you can't. You have one of the worst voices I've ever heard in my life.
And the commander of common sense.
Fire at will, Commander.
Now back to the John Fredericks Show.
All right, we're back with the Texas Truth Line. This guy, James Taralico. The more you get into this thing, the crazier it is. Let's bring Matt in here. This guy, far left Senate candidate. We're also going to bring in, we've got AJ with us, and we're going to bring in Dr. Steve in the waiting room. Steve Bonner, publisher of the New American. Steve, is that James? I'm getting all mixed up. President of Star Publishing. Okay, Jared. Jared, thanks for being with us. Jared, give us a little insight into what you know about this Taralico guy. James, go ahead. We're not getting James audio or Jared's. Okay, guys, we're all messed up here. Let's get back to Matt. So I'm not sure what you've got going on here, Dan, but I'm not seeing the right people.
I think you called Jared James.
I called Jared James. Okay. It's been a long week here in Morgantown. Sorry, Jared. President, Start Publishing. What tell us about this guy, Taralico. He called God non-binary. He has his church library, I understand, offers homosexual grooming books to kids. What is the deal with this guy? Okay, I'm not getting audio. Matt, answer that.
Yeah, I mean, he's creepy. He's a bad candidate. The Democrats put him up thinking he's normal, which says more about them than it does James Talrico. I mean, the average Texan does not want to ban meat for climate change reasons, and they don't think God's gay. They don't approve of churches that have entire libraries to groom children. And they don't believe kids should be mutilated in hospitals for the trans cult. James Talrico is the most radical candidate that Texas has seen. Honestly, he makes Wendy Davis and Beto O'Rourke look like Republicans. This guy is off the rails, so especially on social issues, and he is going to be a resoundingly bad candidate.
I want to get your take here, Paul, as part of the younger group contingent. A lot of people in DC saying, well, you know, he's going to connect with Zoomers. He's going to connect with millennials. He's very young looking, and he talks their language. I don't know. I'm Catholic. I go to church. Right up front there is, you know, our Savior Jesus Christ hanging on a cross. He's obviously a male. Not sure he's non-binary. What does this guy? What are they talking about? How is this guy going to connect with young people in Texas?
I personally don't think he connects with as many people as they say. I think, again, as we saw with John Cornyn's race, there's a pressure relief valve. People are upset with the way things are going. They're upset with not hearing their leadership articulate what's affecting them. When you talk about affordability, which is something the Democrats are leading really, really heavy on, and he's creating this narrative that he's the candidate best suited to address that. They're not taking responsibility for how they have contributed to the affordability crisis in the entire country, but they will continue to chant themselves that they are the answer to the problems they've created. And so this is where they lure a lot of the younger population in, the college people who you're graduating, and that job you were promised in high school or in the sophomore year, that's not there. The starting salaries are not higher than they once were. You're not going to be any closer to buying a home or starting a family. They lean in on these problems, and instead of offering tangible solutions, they're validating people's anger and rage. And so people are willing to overlook those critical flaws in his argument just because they feel he's a better answer. I think it's an opportunity for Republicans to speak more and to acknowledge the pains that some of the voters are feeling and speak to them in communities where they're not already reaching. That would be the college campuses. That would be some communities throughout Texas where people are not seeing the same economic miracle that other people are feeling and experiencing.
Let's get to Representative AJ Louderbeck by phone, District 30, Texas. AJ, give us a little feel about the geographical makeup of your district and how you think Tallarico will play there.
Well, Tallarico will be a flat-out loser, which every indication here in this district, which is over 80% Republican, that he has no traction. I've got even Democrats tell me that this guy's a nutcase. So, I mean, he's every wrong approach in Texas, every wrong idea, every wrong just everything is a total no on him. So, I've served with him in the House, and he's definitely just a radical leftist. Doesn't belong in this state. Has no business here. And I think the vote will reflect that.
Let me ask you something, AJ. I mean, I don't live in Texas, so I'm not going to try to say that I understand it, but I do know when I go there, you order steak. So he has a meatless campaign that he announces on social media in a press conference, and he's a vegan, and I guess he eats tofu or something. I've never had that. Don't know what it is. I don't even like the way it looks or sounds. To be quite frank, I honestly have never had it. I think it's a mushroom or something. I have no idea what it is. I never want to see it. But how do you run statewide in Texas and be a vegetarian? It's one thing to be a vegetarian, but then to blast meat eaters. Like, how does that get you? How does it get you votes?
Well, the real answer, he doesn't get a vote. He doesn't. He only picks up that small percentage here in my district and in Texas that is just disconnected and just delusional about life in Texas. And so, I think that you're going to see a resounding defeat, a resounding rejection of this type of philosophy, and they are relentless, and we always have to prepare. We always have to do our due diligence on this, but he loses big in November, and we move on and do great things for Texas.
So, Matt Rinaldi, the other race is going on in Texas. Big win by Beau French. I know you were a big backer of his. He came under a lot of heat towards the end, and it looked like his campaign was like right on the edge there, and he did win by a small margin. But you were explaining to us a week ago how critical this position is, and of course it has nothing to do with railroads, even though it's a railroad commissioner. Like, they're not deciding where Amtrak goes in Texas. So, but what does this victory mean, and is he at all vulnerable, Matt Rinaldi, in November?
No, he's not. First of all, the position regulates Texas oil and gas. We currently have 3 Republicans because no Democrats win statewide office in Texas. Beau French, however, flips it to a very, very pro oil and gas majority. Texas actually has more green energy than the state of California does, not per capita, like in the aggregate. So, and that's been done because the current Railroad Commission has a majority that's been focused on initiatives like carbon capture and issues like that in oil and gas regulation. Does Beau French have an issue in November? Heck no. He's going to win resoundingly. He's going to win probably by more than other statewide offices higher up the ballot, if history is any indication. His opponent is a guy named John Rosenthal, who may be even weirder than Tallarico, if that's possible. Far left candidate, Jewish by ancestry, but describes himself as some weird spiritual religion thing. Wears a mask, in favor of trans and the kids, left on every social issue. He's a nut, and he's going to lose big.
Sidebar, guys. Anybody can jump in. Total sidebar, off topic. You guys were working on forever I guess you want to call it a speed rail line. This was not an Amtrak line, a speed rail line from Houston to Dallas. You guys poured a lot of money in it for like advisory, whatever they do that, the research stuff to see if it was feasible. And then finally, whatever budget you came up with, it kept getting bigger and bigger. And then finally, guys scrapped it. What went down with that? And why isn't there a train line between Houston and Dallas? Passenger rail.
This is from when I was in the legislature. Now, they did spend some money on initial feasibility studies. It was clear, first of all, that it wasn't going to happen, and it was stupid because we have Southwest Airlines, which is much easier, and also we have so many rural areas where eminent domain is an issue, and nobody wants to take land from private landowners in rural Texas for some stupid rail project that isn't going to work. They can have a rail in California, or have the idea of a rail in California, since it's never going to happen there either. This is Texas. We'll fly.
Well, I think eminent domain was it, because I remember, because Amtrak was supposed to put a certain amount of money in, and I remember, I don't know when it was, I can't remember the time frame, but talking to whoever was the president of Amtrak, I think under Trump 1, and I remember the guy saying to me that that was the issue, that they couldn't get the rail down because it would have to go through so much private property, and it was a nightmare, trying to lay those tracks. And of course, nobody wants Amtrak, rumbling through their backyard in the middle of the night, which that train would have done. So that thing just blew up. And of course, getting to Dallas, you go from love to hobby in 50 minutes. So why bother? Makes sense. AJ, give us a little sense about about your coming elections in the state house in Texas. Do you see gains, status quo? How does that look?
Win big. I've got a Democrat opponent, but again, she's not running a campaign right now, so we're preparing to win, and with legislation and legislative ideas that are going to be positive for Texas. So I feel very comfortable, very, very positive about being in the 90th legislature. So that's the way it looks here.
Are there any seats overall that you guys think you can pick up in this cycle in 26?
I think there could be. I think some of the closer Republican Democrat districts. I think we need to focus on those and make sure that we win those and return the Republicans to office, and maybe we pick up a seat or two. That's or more. That's always a positive. But it's just some of these other districts are tough. Everyone has a Democrat opponent. Whether they're a quality opponent or not doesn't matter to the Democrats. They'll put anyone in any position just to have a face or a body in there, and they don't care about how ridiculous it is and how lack of credentials or anything like that. That doesn't enter into it. They just want a body in there of any kind, and so that's what we have here in Texas right now.
No doubt. James, as you guys are going in this campaign, Paul James, as you guys are going in this campaign, give us a feel of the young Republican, the college Republican movement in Texas. How big is it? What kind of a role do you see them playing?
So the Texas Young Republican Federation, we're already very involved in a lot of these races, supporting them from the grassroots level. Many of us are already precinct chairs, which is really important because we're able to organize with the local party help. And we're already known by a lot of the different state reps. We have a legislative dinner that's pretty impressive. Last one we had, I think, 31 state reps between the Senate, state rep, and governor's mansion. We had 31 legislators, including the governor, and a few federal candidates there. So we're pretty known for our level of involvement in San Antonio, I just wanted to highlight 2 seats that we can pick up. HD 119, which is the Converse Universal City area. We have a candidate there, Miss Melva, I call her, and I can find out her last name, but she's a retired officer from the U.S. military. Very strong candidate, plugged in with the pro-business sector in that area. And then also a private security owner. His name is Mr. Rick Martinez. That's HD 125 on the west side of San Antonio. And that's an area that we're seeing a lot of retirees move to, retired military. As you know, San Antonio is Military City, USA, and we're proud to have be a home for veterans as they return and as they leave service. So this is an opportunity for us to have 2 strong people that will speak to Veterans Affairs and also expanding what San Antonio does for our community and for our state. Melva Perez is her name. I'm sorry. Thank you again. The chairwoman of Bexar County is also watching us in the crowd, and she acknowledged. Her name is Miss Melva Perez. So those are 2 great seats that we can pick up with very strong, conservative-minded, pro-business candidates, and they would speak to those communities very well. Additionally, myself, we move on to the next race, consolidating our support for all of the nominees and making sure we get behind a candidate and help them win. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And also, I'm going to be helping you win too, John. So please expect a donation towards your campaign. And we want to endorse you and support you for your race as well.
Well, that's so nice of you. Thank you. I also want to give a shout out to former state chairman Matt Rinaldi, who endorsed me and gave us the maximum donation that you can in Washington, D.C., which is $200. Shows up on the disclosure, so public information. But Matt, thank you for that. That was very nice of you, Matt. Thank you.
Mhm.
You can get when things get as dark as blue as DC is, when you can get a former state chairman of Texas to say, "Hey, appreciate what you're doing, and here's a little help in your campaign." When you can get one of the up and coming young Republicans in San Antonio to support your campaign, that's very inspiring and uplifting. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. AJ, no pressure. I'm not going to be asking you for donation. So unless Matt gives me your phone number and then you're screwed, then I'll shake you down. Other than that, you're good to go.
Never do that to AJ.
Other than that, you get so many texts from me. You just send me a donation to stop bothering you. That's kind of the way it works. No, I'm just kidding. Matt, the
but John, we've had a long association. I appreciate all your help.
Thank you. The Democrats in D.C., well, they're telling me they're going to win 2 of these 5 seats. I mean, you have no idea what I put up with there in the briefing room. They're all telling me, "Oh, Texas is going to blow up in their face. We're going to win 2, maybe 3 of these seats." Matt, true or false?
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, some could get close. A couple of them could get close, but I don't see Democrats taking them. I think the bigger issue is the Texas House, which you need to watch. Not that it's going to flip, it's not, but definitely going to be playing defense there because the previous Republican Speaker of the House, who did redistricting, cut a lot of Republican districts closer than he should have and actually put more Republican districts in play than Democrat districts. Whether that was intentional or not from a speaker who was very heavily supported by Democrats, you could speculate. But some of those seats may get a little dicey this election. So we're definitely playing defense. I don't think there's any danger that the Texas House flips. But, you could see a couple of those races come down to the wire. But as far as the congressional seats go, no, I think you're 5 of 5 in those.
Tell me about your upcoming state convention. Abraham George running for re-election. I've endorsed him. Great guy, done a super job. How does that look, Matt?
Well, it looks great. I mean, we have a huge convention, 5,000 delegates, 5,000 all. We have 10 or 15,000 people between everybody who's showing up at the convention. It's the largest state convention in the country. Actually, it's more delegates than the RNC convention. So we have the 11th to the 13th is our convention. A lot of great events there, including a gala with Brendan Gill headlining and Benny Johnson emceeing. Going to be a great event. I'll be there. I hope you all can join as well. It's Abraham George, of course, is our current chairman running for re-election. I've endorsed him. Conservative office holders across the state have endorsed him. Ken Paxton, Bo French has endorsed him, and he really needs to be the one to take us through to November. He's built the Texas GOP into a power center in Texas politics like it is in no other state in the country. So we need to continue that. We need the grassroots to actually have a voice, and he's been doing a great job.
Do you concur with what Matt Rinaldi said, Paul James?
I'd like to see a few more things done, but I think he is the person that I would probably support if I was going to convention. I'm not going to be going to convention because I'm doing a number of different projects, and so I won't be there. But I do know a lot of people will be there. I know that he is the leading individual running in that race. So yeah, I mean, I would support that. I would like to see the fundraising really move up. I would like to see the messaging of the party meet the communities that I'm talking about. And those are the young people, really speaking to them in words that they understand about affordability, speaking to them about the Texas miracle, trying to really reinvigorate them to engage with us and not see us as monsters. I'd like to see them do those things. I don't see it happening in a meaningful way, but yet, you know, I support the party, I support the nominees, and I'm having those conversations on a regular basis.
Well, Paul, I do want to give you a shout out. I don't know what I did sometime last week or earlier this week, but you sent me a text. You were listening to my show and you said, hey, you need to get this segment out on video. So we took your advice. I think it was a caller, and we cut it up and sent it out, and it went viral. So you got a good feel for that stuff. So you have any suggestions, don't be shy about forwarding them to us. Listen, I want to thank everybody on Texas Truth Line. Thank you for being with us. Former State Chair of Texas, Matt Rinaldi, our anchor here. Thank you, Matt, for all you do. Representative District 30 of Texas, House Representative Republican, AJ Louderback. AJ, thank you. Thank you for your contributions and for being with us. And of course, Paul
Thank you,
James.
sir.
I'm sorry. And of course, Paul James Jr. Thank you, Paul, for all you do. Keep the suggestions box open, Paul. You're doing a great job. We're going to take a 2-week break as I focus on getting my campaign in order for June 16th. Texas Truth Line will be back on June 23rd. June 23rd. So you guys got a couple weeks to plan your own convention, and then we're going to get you guys back all with a recap. Want to thank you all for being with us on the John Fredericks Media Network, Texas Truth Line. Matt, AJ, and Paul James, thank you. Michael Patrick Leahy coming up. We're live in Morgantown. I'm going to be back tomorrow in Washington, D.C., back in the bubble again. Oh, my goodness. We'll be back. See you then.
Take care, John.
Thanks, guys.